Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to License to View. This is episode 100. And yes,
Hundo.
it's taken us 2.5 times longer than the regular podcast to reach this milestone. But hey, we are here after four iterations of a podcast. We are
There you
finally
go.
at episode 100. I am Jason. That's Zach. Zach, what's going on, man?
Jason, just reminds me of that old myth and fable, man, the tortoise and the hare. Where there's a tortoise in the situation.
It's
Took a
true.
little bit longer, but eventually we win the race.
That's
So,
true. I don't know how that works out in reality, but it always
it
it
just
always
felt
seems to
it
be that
felt
way.
better in my head than when I said it out loud. I was like, oh yeah, this is great, great
Yeah.
analogy. And then I just like I don't know the point of it, so that's fine.
Well, I think back, and every now and then I go through our YouTube channel because every episode is posted on the YouTube channel. Like there's no missing, I believe. No, there's some missing for sure because we did audio only for a while. But
I think the audio only ones are still on there though.
they're still up there somewhere.
Yeah.
But we did it originally, man. I think 5 6 years ago.
hmm
Um, and I know you were still in college. I don't know if I think I was still in college as well. My
I
tail
think
end of,
you were.
and then went through. We stopped. We did that for a little bit.
hmm
Then we stopped for a while.
We did that for the summer. I think it
Yeah.
was the summer that I was there. Basically, we did like one every week, and then I think when I was in college, I don't. I think it was just a little bit harder. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know that we stopped when I
We
went back to school,
we stopped and then we came
and then
back when you were. I think you were a senior,
I think
maybe,
so,
or a
maybe.
junior. We
I know we
stopped.
started doing it again, yeah, because I was a senior, because I started doing, because that was when we went through chat club and book club
Yeah. Well, we even
and all
even
that
then
stuff.
we did like I said, like a summer of episodes, and
hmm
then we stopped and then we came back and did like 30 episodes, like 33
Yeah,
episodes of the Ticket Stubs podcast,
yeah.
and then did book club and chat club and all that kind of stuff. Now we're back after we did Ticket Stubs Redux, changed the name,
Typically
license to
Redux,
view. Yeah, here we
license to view.
are, episode 100, and we've been doing this brand title for the last
Couple
year.
months. Is it been a year already? Oh my god.
It's been over a year, yeah, because we
Jeez.
came back at episode 34, and we're at 100 now.
We came back at 34. Good lord.
Yeah, so we missed a couple weeks obviously from various times
Yeah.
throughout the return, but we missed some weeks here and
hmm
there. But we are back with 100.
Yes.
Um, and I'm no longer going to title the episodes the number because they take so much space in the YouTube title
Yeah.
and on the what's it called, in like the
Thumbnail.
podcast thumbnail
Yeah.
podcast feed. Also, heads up, guys, I'm using a new microphone, so if it sounds like crap or something changes, I'm sorry. We're working on
That's
it.
what happens.
Oh, excuse me.
You're
But
good.
before we continue into the episode with all the stuff we're talking
Yes.
about, Zach, what you been up to, man?
Jason, it has been a busy week. Feeling like a busy bee. Because I had 2 extra days off this week that I didn't
Oh
plan
wow.
for. Because all of a sudden, I was getting ready to go to bed on Wednesday because I had to work Monday night because somebody called out sick. Or Monday morning, so somebody called. I worked Sunday night, and I got the call at like 8, 9 o'clock on Sunday night. We're like, hey, this producer called out. Can you come and work the morning? Not the early morning, but it was like I had to be at work at like 7 a.m.
Right.
So I did that on Monday, and so then I had Monday off and Tuesday off, and then they gave me Wednesday off since I had to work Monday. Um,
Right.
and then I was like getting ready to go to bed. I was like get my blanket in and everything. Uh, and then my boss called me at like 8 o'clock, and he's like, "Hey, so we actually don't have your show for like the next 2 days." And I was like, okay."
Right.
So he's like, so I told you about the fact that like vacation days don't roll over, and he's like, so I'm hoping this is good news. So you can just like use 2 of your vacation days if you want. I was like, I mean, I won't get them back, so yeah, I might as
Yeah.
well use them.
Definitely.
So I had some extra free time. So busy bee over here.
Okay.
So the first thing that I did,
Well, first off, why was your show canceled for 2 days?
I did not figure that out yet. I
What
could
were
have
the
done some like sleuthing or what. I assume
Was there something on
because
TV?
we're on NBC, so we have a lot of sports. So I'm assuming that we had sports because I think there was a couple weeks ago where we also had our shows cut off on I think a Friday, they basically cut off all our afternoon shows. Like the 4, 5, and 6 were all canceled because of a golf tournament, I believe.
Oh, you golf
So I
classic.
assume it was some sporting event like that, where it was some pre-planned sporting event that was going on during the week,
Right.
that they basically cut off all time for.
No,
I'm not sure
classic.
what it was because I haven't been paying attention, um, but because I have the mentality of that when I'm not in work,
Oh yeah.
I
No.
don't pay attention. I'll probably learn on today when I come in. Maybe if there was an email about it, but yeah. So I had those days off, so I had to watch a lot of stuff. So 'tis the spooky season. I didn't watch a spooky movie every day, but I did watch a bunch. Um, so the first thing I did was that I watched Alien
Oh right,
uh,
right, right, right.
on HBO Max. Uh, it's a good movie, solid movie. Still
Mm-hmm.
looks great. I like. Honestly, it was the. I mean, the thing that's still most impressive about the movie is like the effects and how they hold up, especially when they're in that initial alien ship and like the way that they're able to like. And I mean, a lot of movies do this, but like the way they were able to make like matte paintings like blend in with like the actors and whatnot, especially when the shot that was most impressive to me was in their first getting into the like the egg chamber with all the alien eggs, and you have this giant matte painting of like the inside of the ship that is like freaking ginormous. Like the ship is
Mm-hmm.
so huge looking in this painting, and you've got the one little light of like the actor going down into like the chamber. Um, but it all looks so good. Geiger, man, Geiger. I don't know what it is with his art, but it's so creepy looking.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, so yeah, I watched that. Still a good watch. Like that a lot.
It really is like I don't watch it every year. It's not one of the movies I watch
Mhm.
every year. And even when I
Yeah,
do think about watching Alien, I definitely watch Aliens more.
yeah.
But
Aliens is
it's
definitely better.
such
I definitely want to watch Aliens too.
the beauty of this movie is Ripley looks so cool. Like the jumpsuit is so
Yeah,
rad. Like the sneakers are cool. Like the outfit looks cool, and it's such a
she's
it
got the
really
real feathered look going on with her hair, real Farrah
yeah
Fawcett.
it really reminds me like her outfit reminds me. It's not even the jumpsuit, but it's the sneakers, I guess. Reminds me of
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Reese in the first Terminator movie, where like he steals the sneakers from the store, and then
Mm-hmm.
she just looks like for a crew member, she looks super hip and like it's a cool
Yeah,
costume. And then you add in the fact that she's awesome, like it's,
yeah,
and that's what makes me so mad about like we pretend as a society that like we didn't have badass ladies like in the
yeah.
70s, like that's a perfect example of someone who has to rise to be badass. Like
Mm-hmm.
like between the if you watch the two, it's the same thing that with Sarah Connor. Like if you look at
Yeah,
Alien, she is not like Ripley,
yeah,
and then she becomes Ripley at the end. So when aliens come, she's like, "Fuck these Marines, dude! Like
yeah,
I don't need your fucking help. I'll take over this motherfucker."
yeah.
It's the perfect like characterization of a badass, um, and not the scene from Avengers.
Not the scene from Avengers. That ham-fisted garbage.
Yeah.
Um, so watched Alien. Good watch. I watched, in particularly spooky season fashion, I watched the Addams Family, the first one.
Okay.
Um, I hadn't watched this
Hold on,
movie in a really long
the
time.
'90s one.
The '90s one, the
Okay,
one
gotcha.
with Angela Houston and Raul Julia.
Hmm.
Um, Powerhouse actors, dude.
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
in this movie is it's fucking. And then Christopher Lloyd kills it as Uncle Fester. Um, I love this movie. I hadn't seen it in a lot. I really hadn't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
I remember watching it a bit when I was a kid, but I really didn't remember anything from it. I think I remember Adam's Family Values more. Um,
Yeah, I definitely watched that one more.
yeah, because I didn't even remember this plot of like Uncle Fester like losing his memory or something like that. I was like, oh, I thought he was just part of the family the whole time. Um,
Well, number one is the fake family member, right?
yeah, the Adam's Family is the one where yeah, Uncle Fester loses his memory and he's basically um, he thinks he's somebody else and he
Yeah.
basically tries to steal the Adams Family fortune.
Right.
And then he learns in the end by getting lightning struck from a book about Hurricane. What was it? It's like Hurricane Hector or something like that. Lightning strikes his head and he gains his memory back.
Right.
So that's nice.
Yeah, because like
Um,
I values I remember the it's the camp. Like the
yeah,
camp is so much more memorable
yeah,
than the first movie.
hmm yeah, definitely.
And it's
Um,
not even like, and I'm not sure how your history with Adam's Family.
hmm
But my history with Adam's Family is that I loved it as a kid. Like not
Yeah.
not just the movie, but I watched the cartoon all the time.
Hmm.
The obviously the '90s cartoon,
Yeah.
but like and it was creepy, man. Like it creeped me out as a kid. I didn't like,
It's creepy.
and then like I would watch like the old Addams Family TV show, like because
Hmm.
Nick at Night would play, I think played Munsters or something, and I
Yeah.
would turn to like TV Land and they would play Addams Family or vice versa, one of the two. And
Hmm.
I would watch Munsters and I was like, this show's not scary at all. And then I watch Addams Family, I'm like, this show's scary. And then I learned that it's
Mm.
because, like, and I could be getting this mixed up. I learned it's because Munsters is supposed to be a regular family show. They just
Yeah,
happen
I
to be
would.
monsters.
Yeah,
Whereas Addams
I would.
Family is like a satire on the American family, and they're not bad people. Like they're good
No.
people still. They just happen to be into like real macabre shit.
Yeah.
Like they're never gonna like kill you. They just happen to
No.
like weird magic left hand path like like shit.
Well, Wednesday would probably kill you, but the other ones won't.
I don't know if she actually. I think she was like threatened it. Like she was threatened to kill you a lot.
Maybe.
And those movies, I said it before, like probably 6 months ago on a podcast. But like
Mm.
Wednesday and like insert Heather's Winona Ryder, like
Yeah.
those two characterizations of like the goth chick,
Hmm.
guaranteed had to impact so many little boys and girls
Yeah.
and what they preferred when they were older.
Well, it was watching this movie. It reminded me that Angelica Houston was the thing for me. It was like that and Elvira. Um,
I never, it's funny because Peacock has a bunch of old Elvira episodes that they're streaming,
mhm.
and I never cared about that because there was never you and I are of the age where there wasn't that anymore.
No,
Like
not really.
there was no like B movie
Hmm.
host anymore. Like at least if there was, it was localized.
Yeah.
But Elvira obviously wasn't on air.
Hmm.
There was a TNT one apparently up until like 2000 that I just never saw. Like a TNT like B movie like show at like midnight or
Mm.
whatever. I found an Instagram for it. I never even see it. I was too young.
I had no idea.
I guess I was 7, 8 or whatever.
Look, I was only watching TNT for Law and Order. You know what I mean?
Exactly, absolutely. I was watching TNT for Law and Order.
Yeah.
Um, but so having seen it again after a while, how'd you like it?
I liked it a lot. It confused me at first because the movie starts off a weird tangent out of nowhere where you have like Christmas carolers, and I was like, oh wait, is this like another like Night Before Christmas? Like it's secretly a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
And it's like no, they just like they just pour boiling oil on the Christmas carolers, and I was like,
Right.
oh, that just sets up the dynamic for the family, which is neat, but it like confused the heck of me. I was like, wait, does this movie take place during Christmas? Is that something that I blocked from my memory? But no, it's just a random side tangent.
And to bring it back real quick to my Wednesday Adams thing,
Mhm.
it's the dress. Because
Which
I've seen
Wednesday's dress, yeah,
like with like the pilgrim looking dress.
yeah,
I see
well,
it.
all black, and then you
Yeah,
got the white collar.
I see
Yeah.
adults. Like I remember even when I was at the news station, I would see like adult women wear that, and I was like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's
I had an anchor wear that, like, and I was like, oh, that's Wednesday Adams. Like
Yeah.
that's a Wednesday Adams outfit.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's such an iconic look for her.
Who plays? Is it the same? Is Pugsley the same in the first movie as the second movie? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I
actually
don't remember who plays Pugsley
I don't remember who plays either
because
one.
the whole family is the same, right? I thought the rest of the family is the same. I believe.
I can't remember. I mean, I know that the main people are the same. I don't know if Wednesday and
I know.
Pugsley-
I know it's still Christina Ricci
Okay.
between the first and second movie. I knew that.
I don't know.
Because pretty much in
Give
the
me
early '90s, in the early mid '90s, Christina Ricci had
Yeah,
two.
it's still him in Family Values. Yeah.
Because
Same
she had
kid.
she had 2 jobs, Casper, and then the
Yeah.
Casper play a gothy daughter, not really gothy because she's not really goth in the Casper.
Not
but
in
like,
Casper. Yeah.
she's more like a regular daughter who happens to be involved in the paranormal
Yeah.
because of her dad, and then Wednesday.
Yeah.
But what else?
And then
Did
she
you,
becomes. Yeah.
what else have you checked out?
I don't know if I want to save this to the end, but I thought of it right now, so might as well jump into it.
Sure.
I told you earlier this week, the Digimon is going on.
Go for
And I have
broke.
problems with Digimon.
Yeah.
Not specifically with this show, but with Digimon in general. This show is just reminding me of those problems. which is that first of all, in this show, the pacing's terrible. I told you about it a little bit. That like, I
Yeah.
think we talked about it when the show first aired, but like they had a Megamon in like the second episode, which is like the big evolution with like Gabumon and Agumon like fusing together, and this is like their final boss taker outer, and that's like in the second or third episode, and then we're on episode like 20, 18 or 20 right now. It's like in the last episode that just aired last week, they showed a Megamon again, and I'm like, you still have like 60 episodes. Like, why are you blowing your nut so early? Like, I don't understand what's going on with this. Um, so that's a problem with the show that I'm having. But the problem that I have with Digimon overall uh, is that this show is an ensemble show that doesn't feel like an ensemble show.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got the Digidestined and you've got all the kids. But really, the only kids that really matter at the end of the day are Matt and Ty. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, even when TK and Kyrie get introduced, and you've got Angemon and Angewoman, they don't really matter because it still just comes down to Agumon and Gabumon becoming Omegamon, and they take out whoever.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the whole thing. And I hate that shit because I like Matt and Ty overall. I think they're fine characters, but Izzy's my favorite. I love Izzy. And I love Kabuterimon and, like, all that stuff. And I feel like they just get shafted. And I think this show makes it even more obvious because the only people who have really intense Henshin evolution sequences are Agumon and Gabumon. Like, they have the whole thing where they've got, like, the separate screen and they've got the whole, like, you know, step-by-step process. And everybody else is just like, oh, blinding light comes over them and all of a sudden they're their next evolution. And I was like, first of all, that's so lazy and it's very disrespectful to the other Digidestined. It just makes it clear that like they don't really matter, and I hate that shit because I like a lot of them infinitely more than Matt and Ty. I mean, Matt and Ty are great, but like I just still like Izzy the best. And even when I'm like going back to like in this show, like the past like when they started, because they also all already have their ultimate forms, which I feel like is way too fast.
That's what
they like got their champion forms, and then there was like one episode, and then we immediately started getting all of their ultimate forms, and I was like, I don't understand why we're going so fast. But even when Izzy was getting the ultimate form for Armored Kabuterimon, I mean, his was the most interesting, where it was like actually, you know, it plays a lot on like his insecurities with like technology or whatnot, and like him having to be the smart kid. And it ended up being the fact that like, you know, he'd been relying on his computer a lot to like give them information, and his computer wasn't working, and so he actually like had to like gain his confidence again with like using his own intelligence and stuff like that. And I like that character arc in that episode a lot more than like anything that like Matt and Ty were doing, where Matt was just like, I don't trust anybody. Okay, I guess I kind of trust you guys. And then Ty's just like, I'm gonna power through everything, which is like infinitely more boring characterizations than like Izzy's stuff.
You know, also, I think also I'm going off of 20-year information here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the original show was better about giving everybody screen time.
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and rewatch the old show. I remember it's at least better about like hiding the fact that like
because I'm thinking also of like, and I'm thinking more of like Adventure 2 where like Davis wasn't like there was no main character.
Yeah.
Because Adventure 2, like, you would think that it would just be Davis because Davis got a bunch of different shit. But, like, they, at least in the beginning, they really focused, they would give everyone their moments. And even when Ken...
I mean, they do that in here, but it's, like, very obvious. With just, like... Because, I mean, it's... Each character had their moment when their Digimon got their champion forms. And then they each got their moments when they got their ultimate forms. But, first of all, the writing for that is, like, god-awful because... The way that they're set up is they're like set up into they like separate at one point into groups of 3. Like they basically split themselves in half. But it's like once like Matt and Ty were like the first people to get their ultimates. But like once they have their ultimates, they're just facing off against like one other ultimate Digimon, and the writing doesn't make sense. Like once those two are there and like their ultimates are out, like why do you need anybody else? Because you already have one with the ultimate. Like,
well, I think that's
the writing wasn't convincing me
that's
that like
the clear downside.
That Metal Greymon couldn't take on any of these Digimon, and so Izzy had to step up or whatever.
Well, that's the clear. Well, first off, Metal Greymon doesn't need any help. Because we've all
but Metal Greymon still loses, and then I mean he loses in the fact that like for some reason like he just de-digivolves, and then you have to have like I don't even remember her name. The real girly one. What's her name?
Mimi.
Mimi. You had to have like Mimi or Izzy step up and like go
Yeah.
like to, you know, Flowermon or to Armored Kabuterimon, and it was just like, but you have Metal Greymon or you have Were Garurumon. Like I
Yeah.
don't understand. Like the writing didn't convince me that like the other ultimate abilities were like earned at all. It was just like, oh, they need to
Sure.
get it now. Except for Joe. Joe with his was the only one that was like kind of convinced me that was like, okay, this makes sense because they had the thing set up where it was like basically Sora got like attacked by Digimon and was like freezing to death, and like Matt was like protecting her, and so they were off doing their own thing, and Joe was trying to stop these other Digimon, and so he was by himself. So it made sense that he had to like step up in that aspect, but
You
really
know.
nobody else I
You
feel
know
like
what?
had anything like that.
What I really, and I always forget this, is that like TK is like Matt's brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always forget that because they don't really characterize that relationship that much. I feel like.
They do that a lot more in this one, where
So
it's
I'm
like,
like
I mean,
thinking back
TK
to
really
like
hasn't
the.
been. I mean, they've shown TK, but he really hasn't been introduced yet. But it's like,
Mm,
it's very clear that like Matt's his brother, and he's
yeah.
like looking at Matt. He's like saying Onichan a lot. He's doing all
Oh
that
well,
shit.
yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I'm trying to think again. I'm operating off of 20-year knowledge, but like I'm thinking
yeah,
back to like Adventure 2 and like I just don't remember like they really. I feel like they really harped on like, and maybe it's because Ty's the main character, but like in the movie you focused on Ty and Kyrie, right?
yeah,
Like they really they hammered it in that they're it maybe it's because she's a sister and like Matt's like a loner like kind of character.
mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but I the moment that like you give me Omnimon from the get go,
Yeah,
I there's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere
yeah,
else to go. You gave me the number one,
yeah.
um, because
Unless they're gonna do
nobody
something
else
past that, I don't
like
know.
nobody else biomerges or not biomerge. No one else DNA digivolves
Yeah.
if they call it that. I never
Well,
knew
they
if they
haven't even
called it
called
that.
it that. He just that's the other weird thing is that like they haven't explained like why that's happened twice now. It just
Yeah.
happens, and then Omegamon is there, and you're just like, well, how did this even happen? I don't know.
I don't even know if they ever do. I don't know if they ever do consider that one, even though it clearly is.
The DNA Digivolve? I have
Yeah,
no
because
idea.
I feel like
I don't even remember the DNA Digivolve to be honest.
that's like the Pyhildramon and like the Cup guy from Adventure
Ah,
2. Um,
I really don't remember much from Adventure 2, honestly. My big thing was I remember Adventure 1 and then Tamers. Tamers was like those are the two that I like really remember. I really don't remember much from like Adventure 2.
okay, I'm gonna Google this. Is
And then Frontier. I
Omnimon
remember Frontier a lot.
DNA? Yeah, it's a DNA Digivolve because I mean like
Okay.
DNA Digivolve. Hold on, Omnimon fusion or DNA
Is it
has
Omni?
been never been referred to as a DNA Digivolution type Digimon. Yeah, but
Oh, it is
to me
Omnimon.
it says apparently this is some Reddit forum where they've never said it. That's why I'm asking. Like they never like
Mm-hmm.
usually when they say DNA, it has a whole its own little henshin sequence, and they've done Omnimon and Adventure 2. They've never showed it being a DNA sequence.
Yeah.
Um, whereas like Pahildramon or Imperialdramon, they show it being like a DNA Digivolve.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. But when you do that from the get go, you lose all pacing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I don't know what their plan is. I mean, they've still got, 40 some episodes to get through, so maybe there's some overarching plan, but I don't know. I mean, they just introduced like they didn't just introduce him, but he's like officially been like shown to Matt and Ty was they just did Devimon. And I was like, you're 20
Yeah.
episodes in. How are you like just getting to like the main bad of
But
the
also, how
series?
are we gonna be afraid of you? We have fucking Omnimon.
Yeah, I don't understand because Devimon's just like a champion level Digimon. Like he's not
Yeah,
even that strong.
I'm not worried about you.
Yeah, I don't get it, but I don't know. So that was my Digimon rant. I just
Yeah,
had
sure,
those thoughts swirling in my head.
definitely.
Um, so other than that, it was a big anime and manga week. Besides that, because the fall season started
Mm.
last week or this week, something like that. So I checked a couple of big ones out. Um, First one I did was it's called Moriarty the Patriot.
All
It
right,
is
that's cool.
basically it's Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes,
Okay.
but it's Moriarty as the main character, and it's basically him being Dexter, and I
Right.
like that a lot.
Okay, so he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy, but he's the bad guy in the way where he's like he's the Dexter character where he's like he's a bad guy, but he takes out other like bad nobles. Like the first episode is like a noble that's basically like a child killer,
Okay.
and he basically helps one of the dads of one of the children that was killed. He helps that dad get revenge by like trapping the noble and whatnot. And so that's basically like it's the Dexter thing. So I'm liking that a lot. I mean, at least like where
It
that's
takes
going.
place in like Sherlock
Takes
Holmes
place in
time.
like Sherlock Holmes
Okay.
time, like 1800s London, that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, so I like that a lot.
Is it not weird to you?
Hmm,
And take like this is not related to fucking anime or movies or
hmm,
anything. This is related to like life,
hmm,
to like time.
hmm,
Is it not weird to you when you think about like when like there were cowboys
hmm.
during Sherlock Holmes,
I never thought about that.
across the planet, like where we were,
I guess I never thought about that because yeah, they're on like separate parts of
like
the
Jack the
globe.
Ripper was existing, right? The same
Mhm.
time that they were like gunfighters.
Yeah,
Like Red Dead Redemption was happening. Like if that's why whenever you see a British person in a western, like they're always like this, like
yeah,
suited up, top hat kind of character.
hmm,
Obviously that's 80 years of like 80 years I'm talking about here, but
yeah,
like if if Sherlock Holmes takes place in like anywhere in the 1800s, even towards
mhm,
like the middle, like that's like Civil War.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I
to me
never
that's
thought about
crazy.
that. I feel like it's probably one of those things where it's like I mean, story wise, they're usually pretty separate events. Like they usually just kind of, especially when it comes to like Sherlock Holmes, they kind of like put him out in his own world. They don't really talk about like the outside world, the world outside of like London or stuff like that. So I guess it's kind of like, yeah, I've never really thought about that. That yeah, there's like cowboys and stuff going on at the same time as all that stuff.
You know what's even like, other things that are weird to me, like Abraham Lincoln was like alive when Jefferson was president, like stuff like that. Like that to me is like weird.
Damn. So he was like a kid.
He was like a kid, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that
He
makes
was like
sense.
he was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
It's these random like you. At least it's different for imagine for British people and like
Hmm.
Spanish people and like people German people, but like for
Yeah.
the people like in America, that's like our country is only so old.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
we're still relatively young. Like you can like throw a rock and like hit George Washington, like in the bucket of history. Like think about like
Just bonk him on the head with a giant rock in the bucket.
imagine being like French, being like, oh yeah, you can go back so many
Literally before BC
like
and talk about the
generations,
French. Yeah.
So sorry, so Moriarty.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I never really thought about that. But yeah, that show's fun. Um, it's just weird to me though, honestly. It was like, I mean, it's probably part of the thing where it's like reason why like so many Robin Hood movies get made and stuff like that, which is just so much Sherlock Holmes stuff like constantly, especially in like anime, because I know that like just I feel like it just finished like a couple of months ago, but there was like a different Sherlock Holmes series that like literally just finished, anime series that just finished. That was like a long form like 24 36 episode thing that like
Yeah.
I think started in like January and I feel like finished in like
Well,
June or something like that.
people love fucking Sherlock Holmes, and
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I mean, it's detective fiction and detective fiction is fun and he's infinitely the most famous of all the detectives in detective fiction. So, I mean, I
Yeah,
get it.
yes, but also it's I don't get it because as much as I love the character of it's everywhere. It's the impenetrable, all-knowing,
Mm,
all-noticing detective. As much as I love that, the mentalist, Patrick Jane, even Sean Spencer to an extent, his
mm,
dad to an extent.
yeah.
I'm watching Criminal Intent, Gorin to like it's these characters who like just happen to know a little bit of everything about everything,
Yeah.
so they can like I get why everyone enjoys that because it's like you want to see you want to see the bad guy lose even
Mm,
when they're smug about it. I absolutely get it, but at the same time, like there's inherent like boringness to that. I feel like if you watch like True Detective, like those
mm.
guys aren't like they're not Sherlock Holmeses. You know, like they struggle when it gets tough, and like you want to watch that struggle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think with Sherlock Holmes in particular, that resurgence of love because of the BBC show
Probably, yeah. But I'm sure that has like something to do with it for sure.
and the characterization of how he Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock Holmes being like
I would
this.
I would assume it's a mix between that and like the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies, because those
But
are super popular too.
yeah, they're popular, but not clearly not enough to get a third movie soon enough.
Oh, that's true.
But also like the way that his portrayal is so off the wall.
Robert
Like
Downey?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like such a he's Sherlock Holmes in every sense, but also he's a fucking like buff guy.
Yeah.
Like or no, buff being like relative to Robert Downey Jr. at 50.
He's a martial arts expert and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
like what the fuck are you talking about? But
He's
I
got
think
the birds Baritsu, I think is
but
what
I
they
think
call it.
that like Jude Law as Watson's really great.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good interpretation of that character. As
Hmm.
someone who has never read, I have not read any. I've read like one or two Sherlock Holmes stories. I've never read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, but that's my thing about people just love that type character type. So between like Elementary and like all these shit, like everyone,
Yeah.
every year there's like two new Enola Holmes. There's always like
There's
some
always at
new,
least like one every year, yeah.
yeah, like oh, it's like I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over it. And not Moriarty's not that's different because he's the bad guy. Like he's Sherlock
Yeah.
Holmes opposite. He's Sherlock Holmes dark.
Yeah.
So that's different. I'm fine with that. That's a different take on it.
Hmm.
But it's like the idea that like I'm getting Sherlock Holmes every year in some
Yeah.
sense. I'm kind of over it. It's like Robin Hood. It's like exact same thing where I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
how many times am I gonna have Robin Hood or Robin Hood Light where it's like because Zorro is like Robin Hood. Like
Basically, yeah.
no, I'm a noble who becomes a thief or in some sense, and then I give to the poor. Okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha. I like it. It's character archetypes from like the fucking
Noble that rebels against the establishment.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know if Robin Hood was he ever a noble? In some stories
He's a
he is,
noble,
right?
yeah.
Like
He was a noble and he fought in the official story is yeah, he's a noble that fought in one of the crusades and then he came back. He was betrayed,
yeah,
all this other stuff,
like
yeah.
if I remember like even watching the last movie that came out with Jamie Foxx.
Oh my god, you watched that movie?
Oh yeah, I watched that shit.
How bad was it?
It
I
was
heard it was
fucking
very bad.
it was fucking whatever.
Oh, okay.
It was like it wasn't good.
That's the one
It
where they're like wearing like Nikes and shit and like they're supposed to be in like
maybe
old London, but you've got like what's his name? The one that I really like. Oh my god, the list guy. What is his name?
oh it's Ben
The main
Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn. You've got him,
Yeah.
and he's wearing like some weird like leather
Yeah,
overcoat thing.
it's that Guy Ritchie King
Yeah,
Arthur syndrome.
but it's
Um,
not Guy Ritchie, which is the weirdest part because it
and
just
like
wants to be Guy Ritchie so
it,
bad.
it, it really wants to be like, hey, we can make Robin Hood like hip,
Yeah.
and like he can't, you
Well,
can't.
that's the one where it's also like they've got like machine gun crossbows or something
Yeah,
like that.
shit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. And like everyone in the movie was fine. Like it wasn't like it was
Yeah.
a bad acted movie.
Hmm.
To me, it just was like, okay, I can count so many fucking Robin Hoods on my hand
Yeah.
since Kevin Costner
Yeah.
that like I don't need any more probably till I'm 50. I can
Yeah.
like go with no Robin Hoods till I'm
It's the same
50.
thing with King Arthur. Yeah. It's
Much
like
less.
it's all of the King Arthur would much
Yeah,
less.
much
I would
less.
agree. But I mean, it's all those. I mean, it's all of those public domain stories that it's
Right.
just like, you know, you don't have to take any money like trying to buy the property or anything like that. So it's
Well,
super
it's like Sherlock
cheap.
Holmes, Robin Hood, King Arthur to an extent, I guess. But those Robin Hood and Sherlock Holmes primarily are
Hmm.
like it's like to me my big annoyance with it is like okay, we're gonna take these two things that everyone quasi enjoys to a basic extent,
Hmm.
and we're gonna take Sherlock Holmes and put it in modern day. Like that's the spin.
Yeah.
We're gonna take Robin Hood and he's younger and he does like backflips. Like we're gonna like make it cool. Like it's like this. We're gonna take King Arthur and we're gonna make it anime. Like
Yeah.
okay, we gotcha. That like you're trying to find the
Yeah.
one thing and like it works sometimes, I guess.
Sometimes.
Um, but not in those instances, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but the Moriarty's good.
Yeah. The first episode was. We'll see if it keeps up, but I mean, it's I like that a lot. So we'll have to see on that. One of the other big things I checked out, another like murder mystery type of thing. It reminded me a lot of. I don't know if you've ever seen or read Durara. Have you ever read
No.
that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like that, but it's a show called Ikebukuro Westgate Park, which is basically it reminds me a lot of Durara because it basically revolves around like street gangs and like tackling
Right.
like street crime and stuff like that. And the main guy is not a part of a gang, but he knows a lot of the people in the gang. And the first episode is like they take down like a local drug ring that like caused somebody to be high and like basically get in a car accident that hurt this one girl's mom, and so they're all trying to like take down this drug ring or something like that. I'm not sure what like the overarching because that was just basically like the introduction for it. Um, but I'm liking that a lot because I like Durara a lot. I like that kind of like street level crime taking on other gangs and stuff like that.
You need to fucking read everything that I read.
Yeah, I
You
know.
need to read Crows and Worst and like Rokudansha Blues or whatever it's called. You need to read that stuff because like Crows, everything by the same guy who made Crows, Worst, it's literally just that. It's
Yeah.
delinquents fighting each other for no other reason but fighting each other,
Mm.
and for honor and for pride and for
Yeah.
territory, and that's all it is. And there's no superpowers except for we can get hit a lot,
Yeah.
and I fucking love it.
Yeah, that's what I like about this too. Yeah, there's no superpowers. I mean, it's just like some of the guys are good at fighting, but that's basically it. And then the only real superpower is that this gang is like humongous, so they've got people all over the place. So it's like the part that they're like trying to track the drug dealer to like figure out like where he's getting his drugs from and all that kind of stuff is just a bunch of people in the gang tailing the guy at like different points and like reporting
Right.
back to each other. Like that's the big superpower. So I like that. I just like that it's a little bit more grounded. Um, and I heard Joey, the anime man, talk about it because I think it's reading the synopsis. It's like based off like an urban mystery, urban crime novel that is apparently like super popular in Japan. And, like it's been adapted into like movies and live action shows and stuff a bunch. And so he sung really high praises about it. So
Oh,
interested
okay.
to see where that leads. So I got that, and then one of the last things that I'll bring up before we move into what you read was the first two episodes are out because I think the second episode just aired yesterday of Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know if it has an English name. I was gonna call it Jujutsu Kaisen, but the first two episodes are out for that.
Dylan,
Fuck, dude,
you son of a
the show
bitch.
looks so good.
I didn't end up checking it out at all.
It's I think you should because I mean you read it, so
Yeah,
obviously
I
it's
read the
something
first
that,
like maybe not even first 15 chapters. I read the first like arc.
yeah.
So like I read
This
like
is definitely not
I
like
read them going to get the girl from wherever she was at. I can't remember where she was at.
that's next week's episode.
Yeah,
Is
I remember
they're gonna have the girl introduced. Yeah.
them like go get the girl and then they go do a mission. I remember reading that like when I first got the app,
Mm-hmm.
the Show and Jump app.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember reading anything past that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
I
or
haven't read
anything.
it yet. I kind of want to now though because I'm liking the story a lot. But it's basically takes place in a world that like curses exist everywhere, and there are people that are basically like exorcists
Yeah.
that take on these curses. And the main character, who I assume at some point they kind of they don't set it up, but they do that he's basically related to this ancient demon whose finger he swallows. But basically, there's like a bunch of cursed objects, and there's curses, and then there's cursed objects in the world. And if you eat a cursed object, you like, I guess, take on that curse's power if you're able to withstand it or whatnot. So the main character eats the cursed finger of this super ancient, powerful curse that like killed a bunch of people and a bunch of exorcists back in the day. He's like the only person that's able to stomach the power and like keep the demon in check or whatnot. Um, I'm gonna assume that he's related to this demon in some way, like he's a lost descendant or something, because he looks very similar
Yeah.
from what they've seen in the OP and stuff. He basically looks like a different version of that guy. He looks like the same kind of dude. So I'm gonna assume that like the reason that he's able to like withstand the power is that he's
Yeah.
related to him in some way. Because they already talk about, because in the first episode, he already is like a freakish person where
Yeah.
he's like taking on the gym teacher because the gym teacher wants him to join like the track and field, and he like the gym teacher like does a shot put, and I think he throws it like 18 meters or something like that, and then the kid throws it, but he doesn't throw it like a shot put. He throws it like a baseball, and like destroys like a soccer goalpost. Like freakish gorilla strength that makes no sense. So he's already like an inhumane character before he eats the finger. So
I
assume
remember. I
something.
remember when I like 6 months ago when I first got the app,
Mhm.
and I was like reading Naruto or One Piece or something. I was reading something, and I was
Mhm.
looking for new stuff to read, and I just kept noticing how much like obviously these manga things go through like phases.
Mhm.
I noticed like, oh man, they're clearly in like a supernatural phase right now because
Yeah.
there were so many like demon things like this show and then like Demon Slayer before it ended.
Yeah.
There was like so many like
There's a lot of demon stuff. Yeah.
ghost demon shit, and I'm cool with that. But this art reminds me so much of Bleach, and
Mhm.
not saying that it looks similar. I mean, it does look similar. It's like very clean,
Mhm.
but just super stylish. And that's like to
Mhm.
me like Kubo like nailed down. Like that's like
Yeah.
spirit supernatural plus stylish. That's Kubo,
Yeah.
and that kind of reminds me. Reminds me of that
Mhm.
um, to an extent. And it reminds me of like the Naruto,
Yeah.
like I'm a demon baby, or I got demon baby in me, demon stuff in
It's
me.
very Naruto, yeah, where it's like basically the whole thing is he's got a demon, a powerful demon inside them that like gives him power, and that's like basically Naruto in a nutshell. So,
I didn't read far enough to get to a rank structure or a
um,
captain system. I know there is one.
I assume there is one, but yeah, they didn't really talk about it in here. I mean, basically the second episode is like him dealing with the fact that like he's gonna gather all these other fingers of this demon, and then he's gonna die because I guess that's the only way you can kill the
Yeah,
power of this cursed object. But he's like he gets accepted into the school. He finds his own motivation to do this kind of thing, which was basically the arc of that. But there's really no like structure to it yet,
it just
other than like master student, because you've got
it
the
it
blind guy
reminded
who's like
me.
the teacher, and then you've got the other guy with the dogs that is like a fellow student.
It
So
reminded me so much of like a mixture of like D Gray Man and like Blue Exorcist.
mm,
Where like D Gray Man, they're not in school, but the main character uses like the demon in him to like kill demons, and then
mhm,
Blue Exorcist is obviously about a school of exorcists, and the main character happens to be like half demon. So like,
mm,
and that part of the show isn't similar at all to this show,
mhm.
to Jujutsu Kaisen, but like the way that they're, I mean, there's so many anime go into school shit or whatever, but like it just there's so many similarities to like other supernatural things that aren't bad. They're just
Hmm.
like there's only so many times you can reinvent the wheel
Yeah.
before you start seeming like you're similar in certain things.
Hmm.
Um, but the difference is that like the main character of this show is like confident, at
Yeah.
least from what I remember. Like he's not like he's trepidatious, but then also he's like, yeah, I know I'm physical.
Yeah. He's like super
He's
confident.
like, yeah, I know
It's
I'm
he's
physical.
confident, but I mean, especially like before he swallows the curse, he's like confident, but he doesn't want to like he doesn't want to join sports or anything like that. He just
Yeah,
wants to have like an easy life, but he like knows he can do it if he wants to.
yeah,
Which is basically like the resolution or whatever that he determines after he like gets accepted into school. He's like, I'm the only one that can do this. It's
yeah.
why I'm doing it. Um, so fuck you,
Right.
basically.
No,
Um,
I definitely wanted to
so
check
yeah,
more of it out. I think I will at some point,
yeah,
and
but yeah,
maybe I'll watch the anime. But I think I'll read the manga though. I still have the app, so we'll see what happens.
hmm yeah, for sure. But yeah,
Cool.
that was what I checked out. Jason, what
Is
did you
this
check
true?
out?
Well,
Yes, it's true.
I also
This man
have
has no
a
dick.
fairly decent list of things. The first thing I did was I watched Burn the Witch. I talked to you about it through text.
Nice. Hmm.
Um, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it for what it was. I
Yeah.
think it looks great. The animation was really solid. Um, every question I had from last week about how it connects to Bleach connects is even worse now that I've actually seen the show.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how this is related to Soul Society. I don't understand how they explain there's two different Londons. I don't understand why the dragons matter or how the dragons relate to spirits or hollows. I don't understand any of that.
Yeah.
Um, and if they're going to sit there and say it's in the same universe, I really need an explanation. Um, I wish that I got more content from the show.
Yeah.
I really wish it was a weekly thing or monthly thing so I could have more about um, the team structures and the organization structures of Wingbind because they didn't really break any of that down in the anime. Maybe
Not
they
really.
did in the manga. I didn't read the manga.
They did. I mean, the anime is basically the 4 chapters of the manga that were released, and yeah, there's not anything else in the manga either.
Because I can't tell if like was the ink guy was that is that one team, like was he the captain of one separate team?
The way that I understand it is that yeah, because they have the they have the
Yeah,
boardroom meeting where it's like basically the heads of all these different departments. So he's basically the head of this one department.
right.
But the problem is that you don't see anybody else that's a part of
Yes.
that group.
The other problem is that you never, and this is me as professional, not manga creator,
Mm.
unlike Tide Kubo, who is professional manga creator. Um, I feel like you did a really bad disservice to your own success in power scaling when
Mm.
you're going to show me the captain of this whole unit
Mm.
and they're not as badass as they should be at first appearance.
Mm.
Like in Bleach, and I'm going to use his own series to like compare what I'm saying, is that when Ichigo goes to Soul Society, he fights other Soul Reapers. When he fights like sergeant level, like assistant captain characters, and
Mm.
he struggles with them first, and does is either eventually wins. Like he fights like Renji, who's not a captain, and then when he fights a captain, he's like he can't even do anything at first, right? So
Mm.
he sets up the level that Ichigo has to get to. Well,
Mm.
they show in Burn the Witch, they show that the Pipers, who are supposed to be low tier characters, um, can hang not necessarily on a 1v1 fight, but they can hang with this leader of an entire unit of
Mm.
people, and then that this leader of the entire unit can't beat this dragon because this dragon is so powerful. But then you show who kills the dragon being the leader of the Pipers with one finger. So the
Mm.
power scaling so wacky from the get go that
Mm.
I'm unsure. Like people treat this guy from the episodes at least like the Pipers are nobody, and this guy's like they talk like low brow to this guy, except for that
Mm.
one lady who calls him like Mr. Something, you junior.
Yeah.
So maybe some people don't know that this guy has a hierarchy system in his own life or whatever it
Mm.
is. But clearly the leader of the Pipers is like some powerful motherfucker enough to kill this magical mastery dragon with one finger beam. Like
Yeah.
he fucking Yusuke's this motherfucker with one shot and it's no problem, right?
Yeah.
So like either Kubo's gonna pull Bleach where he's like, oh, this guy was a captain of something else, he got demoted,
Mm.
or he's always been this powerful but has never cared about it, or some shit like that.
Mm.
But my problem is that with the Ink guy was that they should have showed a lesser person in that organization.
Mm.
It should have been like a vice captain or like
Yeah.
a person who's still stronger than the Piper characters but not the boss.
Mm.
Because now you're showing me that well, the Pipers were able to get around the dragon and do enough, not to fight it, but do enough to not get killed.
Right.
So now I'm kind of like, okay, well, is the Ink guy really that strong? Because clearly he's nobody compared to the one shot guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just weird power scaling that
Yeah.
in shonen you really have to focus on at the get go. Because if you
Mm.
don't focus on that, you really can throw off your entire thing. Or maybe the Inker people aren't that strong, and
Mm.
maybe the other characters at the round table are just that much stronger.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Pipers, Inkers, and then the Sabers are the top or something
Yeah.
because of what their jobs are. I don't know. Like what are the Inkers' jobs? I don't remember.
They don't say. Yeah, I mean that's the problem is that yeah, I mean there's just a lot of world building that still has yet to be done that hasn't really been addressed yet.
Like
with this series.
maybe even the Ink guy is trying to be a Saber because that's their job is the most it seems like whether they describe it as the most like forceful unit is going to
Yeah,
be the Sabers because of the name.
that's the only one that you kind of get a hinting of like scale or like tiers. Is that I mean the way the characters talk about it is that basically like the Sabers are the top, but
Yeah,
below that there's not really any
order.
definitive structure or order as to who goes
Yeah,
where power
and
wise.
like not
So
even. And I wouldn't even need a power order if I just knew what the jobs were.
yeah.
Like if Inkers were like containment units,
Mm-hmm.
which make like okay, well you need to be strong because you can have strong magic,
Yeah.
but you're not a fighter, so it makes sense. Like the Piper's jobs isn't to fight,
Yeah.
so I get why you wouldn't be an all-out brute strong fighter because it's not your job.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do get that ability, then you would be transferred to a different unit. That to me that makes sense.
Yeah.
But with only 4 episodes or 4 chapters, those questions in me that like rank structure and power scaling, like that's like one of the things I love about shonen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that yet, so I want more.
Right.
That's really it. Other than that, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Animation was great. I think the two characters are really fun together.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think the boy Matt.
He's kind of
I don't really give a shit about him.
yeah.
Or his
He's not really that.
or how he randomly got a sword for no reason. Like I don't.
This shit didn't make any sense because
Yeah.
he's a bigger part of the of the one shot
Yeah.
that was released like a year or so ago. He's like the main focus of that. But even then, I was just like, I don't know. I don't really enjoy his character that much.
Yeah, I don't care.
I much prefer the girls.
The
Yeah.
girls are better. Um, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm excited to see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched that, and then I went ahead and watched Netflix was added or not Netflix, Amazon Prime
Mm.
has added a ton of Nicolas Cage movies.
Oh fuck, dude.
So in one of those movies being Gone in 60 Seconds, which
Whew.
is a fantastic movie. Obviously,
Classic
it's a
movie.
remake of an older movie, but it's a classic 2000 Nicolas Cage movie. Stacked cast. It's Nick
Angelo
Cage.
Jolie with
Yep.
dreads.
Angelina Jolie. It's what's his name? Fabricio.
George Lopez in that movie?
No. It's what's his brother's name? It's the guy from Friends, and the guy from Sneaky Pete. It's something Fabricio. I can't remember his name. He's in Friends. Um, but Timothy Oliphant is in it.
Yes.
It's a stat cast. It's really great, and it could have been better in the sense that they could have made it a Fast and Furious before Fast and Furious. It could have been Oceans before Oceans, like the Oceans that we like. But they just didn't take time to really explain most of the characters. Because even Khan's in it too. It's funny. Like the son can. What's his name? Scott Khan.
Hmm.
He's in it as well.
Scott Conn. Oh.
Scott Khan from Hawaii Five O reboot, and he plays the other brother in Oceans.
Huh.
Know how Casey Affleck and his brother in Oceans.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Khan is the other brother.
Oh, him. Okay.
Yeah, the son of infamous actor James Caan.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in Gone in 60 Seconds as well. He plays one of Robicio's crew members because they're all car thieves. But it goes to show me that, and it made me sad because I was thinking of it like it happened, and this happened to a couple people, and I want to ask, see what you think about this.
Okay.
So I love Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I think he's top 10 actors of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And people would probably be like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "No, he's amazing.
Nick Cage is amazing.
He has amazing movies, and he has a roster of bad movies, but he has amazing movies as well."
Yeah.
After The Village, mid 2000s, late 2000s, whatever it is, we just lost him for 10 years.
Yeah. It's
We
a long
just
time.
no Hollywood just stopped caring,
Mm-hmm.
and we lost some good years. We could have had amazing movies from Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Like in his prime, like where he was like still like, I don't mean to talk about body size, but younger Nick Cage. Like
Yeah.
he could have looked like younger, like National Treasure Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
We lost prime time years, and the same thing applies to Brendan Fraser, where
Yes.
he's still great now. He's older. He looks older. He's a little chubbier. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Just like we lost like 10 years of like prime time, like ripped. like
Yeah.
smaller, more leading man looking.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Fraser, I'll get to that a little bit later in my view list. But
Mm-hmm.
after watching Gone in 60 Seconds again for the billionth time, it just made me so mad because we could have had another 3 or 4 like prime time Con Air,
Yeah.
Snake Eyes, like we could The Rock too. We could have had some primetime movies that we will
Mm-hmm.
never get now because of just like age and like ability.
Yeah.
Not that he wouldn't do those movies because he definitely would because he needs the money, but like
Yeah.
it's the point like he's so good in this movie and his name is Rad. Do you remember his name in this movie?
I can't remember.
It's Memphis Reigns.
Memphis. I knew it was something like some city or state or something
It's
like that.
Randall Reigns, but he goes by Memphis Reigns.
I don't know why, but I wanted to say like Montana something, but
Is there a Montana somewhere else? I feel like
I feel like there's a Montana
he
somewhere
has
else.
cool character names in every movie he does.
He's always got some good character names. But yeah, Memphis.
Um,
Memphis is a good name.
so this movie's great. I love it. It's a great 2000s movie, and it has exactly that vibe.
Yep.
Has exactly that vibe in it. So, I'll speak in Brendan Fraser. I rewatched for the first time in a long time the movie Airheads.
I don't think I've ever watched that movie.
So it's a comedy movie about 3 Hesher metalheads, and it's
Okay.
a band called the Lone Rangers, and they're trying to break in the industry, and no radio stations will take their demo tape. This is like back in the early '90s, obviously.
Right.
And the band is Brendan Fraser as the lead singer, guitar player, has
Okay.
like long hair, biker jacket, jeans. Like this is like prime time, like hot boy Brendan Fraser.
Okay.
The
This
drummer,
is George of the Jungle time.
before.
Oh.
This is before, I believe. So he's like thin, he's like lean, so super early '90s. Drummer is Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Bass player is Steve Buscemi.
Okay.
So it's a 3-member band, and they break into this radio station. They drop their demo off for this guy to play on a rock radio station, and I'm pretty sure the radio host is the guy who plays the from Criminal Minds, the guy who plays the backup to Jason. What's the actor's name? The guy who plays fucking Inigo Montoya.
Mandy
From
Patinkin.
Manny Patinkin. It's the guy who replaces him.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Joe
Oh,
something.
the
Joe something.
Joe. It's not
Mantago.
Mangiello.
Mantegna.
No, it's
Mantegna.
Joe Mantegna. Yeah.
I could be wrong because I didn't Google it, but I'm pretty sure the host of the radio show is Joe
Let me Google it right
Mantegna.
quick.
He looks just like him but younger. I could be wrong, but it looks just like him. It sounds like him too. So I'm assuming it's him. So it's these 3 metalheads, 3 Heshers, break into this radio station to drop this demo tape off, and they have fake toy guns that are full of hot sauce. And one of the radio station CEO guy, GM, pisses off Steve Buscemi, so he pulls out the fake gun, and they are kidnapped, hostage negotiated this radio station. And it's about how they try to escape. They can't because someone called the cops, aka Kramer from Seinfeld, who's in the station.
Oh my God.
Calls the cops, and
What is this cast?
He's sneaking around the radio station like physical comedy. So now the three band members have officially are holding hostages, and they didn't mean to because they're airheads.
Mm-hmm.
They just want their band to be playing on the radio station. And it's funny, it's goofy. It all takes place at the radio station. And it has sort of a Die Hard vibe, kind of, because the cops come and they're trying to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to guess who the cops are? Just take a guess, anybody. Early '90s.
Chris Rock?
No, you're in the right path though. I told you the name of the other. It's Brendan Fraser is the weird one.
Yeah.
The other 2, it's Steve Buscemi and it's Adam Sandler. Early '90s.
Right.
So there's a rookie cop who comes in. It's Chris Farley. His superior sergeant is Ernie Hudson.
Oh shit, Ernie Hudson.
So this movie is like, and people like
Ghostbusters.
the reviews are bad for this movie, but like this is a fucking fun movie. Like it's a great '90s comedy movie about a band, and there's a bit in the movie that makes me laugh so much where Joe Mantegna, I don't know if it's actually him or not. Say,
It
hey,
is.
give me your tape. What's your band name? We're on the air. And Brendan Fraser's like, well, we're the Lone Rangers.
Mhm.
And he's like, hold on. Isn't that kind of fucking dumb? The Lone Rangers? How are you lone?
We've got each other.
You got each other. Like that shouldn't be the Three Rangers? And they're like, I don't get what you're trying to say. So the Airheads, it's really funny. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's a great movie.
Okay.
And then I watched the Netflix documentary movie, American Murder: Family Next Door.
I did watch this actually too. I forgot to bring it up, but
Yes,
I did watch it.
yeah, I watched it. I thought it was really well done.
It's really well done. That guy's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Um, but that lady is also crazy.
Which one? The one who died?
The wife.
Yeah.
The wife is a little cuckoo. I'm not blaming her.
No,
I'm not saying it's her fault.
No.
But she's
It's
a little
funny
cuckoo.
because again, I watched True Crime with my girlfriend and we're watching it, and I kept laughing, and be like, "This lady's fucking psycho, dude."
Yeah,
like,
she's a little crazy, man.
you know. And I'm not saying she.
Also, it's like, I mean, I'm not saying it's her fault or anything, but like, you probably shouldn't like badmouth your husband's parents and like say that they're terrible fucking people and that he should never see them again. Like, that's probably not a good thing to do.
Yeah,
regardless of like whether your husband is a psychopath or not. It's not a good thing to do.
Yeah. But also like the way they made it, it's so crazy with like having the body cam footage and like being able to see the piece of shit. Like,
it's just like being in the age of social media where it's like she's one of those people that is obsessed with like doing Facebook lives because so much. I would say
well,
so of the dialogue in this movie.
I didn't
Facebook
get
Live.
why she kept doing that, and then my girlfriend was like, because she's a her job was in sales. So she apparently she was explaining to me like she's like a
I know
multi-tier
that they had
marketer.
one point that she like worked. Did she basically work from like a pyramid scheme?
Yeah, that's exactly why, you know, those people who go on Facebook and like try to sell you shit like life stuff. So that makes more sense to me. I was like, oh, okay, so she's a multi-level scheme marketer person.
Yeah,
that
she's an MLM person. Okay.
Right, it makes more sense to me. But yeah, I thought it was really well done with the idea of like we're showing body cam, we can see the guy like be a piece of shit, like, you know,
yeah,
on camera and hear him be a piece of shit. So I really liked the documentary.
Yeah.
Really well done. Even though I knew the ending, it was still really well done. Apparently,
I forgot the ending for a little bit because I started it because I remember because I was working, you know, in news when like this story went on, and I remember running this story on air. I remember running that original package where it was like the day after his wife went missing or whatever, and he does that interview.
yeah,
And everybody goes back to, we're like, this fucking piece of shit knew that his wife and kids were dead and still did this interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to tell you a quick story, not about me, but about a friend of mine. And you know my friend. I'm just not gonna say his name because he still works he still works in the biz.
Right.
He told me this story that when he was interning, back before he became a reporter, or a job report, he was interning. He was doing a story about a missing wife. I can't remember where he was at, but he went to the guy's house to do a one-on-one. Interviewed the guy at his house. The guy was crying and all the whole jazz. And then they left. And the next day, the cops arrested him because his wife was cut up in his bathtub. God. And my friend was like, literally, if I went to go pee,
you would have seen it.
I'm dead. I'm dead because it's there. You know, like he interviewed me with the body. You know.
Oh my God.
So it's stuff like that, man.
It's insane, man.
So I watched that, and then I watched Challenger.
Yes.
So I watched Challenger. Really well done. And again, I mentioned last week and week before, whenever you talked about it, that I don't know enough about shuttle era stuff. I watched most of my NASA stuff is Apollo Mercury stuff. And shuttle era stuff, I just don't know enough about. So to me, this is all new. I didn't know much about
it either. Yeah.
This is all new to me. But it was really well done. I liked it a lot. I hope they do more, just in general. You know.
I would love to do more about, you know, just NASA stuff in general, man. It's always great.
But not even tragedy stuff, but just other stuff in general would be really great.
Yeah.
So that I'll hit a couple of these real fast. Still watching Criminal Intent. I'm on season 2.
Okay.
And then episode 3 of Fargo was last week. Enjoying it. Still really well done.
Still need to watch that.
You should watch it because this episode, last week's episode, introduced a U.S. Marshal who is a Mormon.
Okay.
I guess back in a time where I didn't know that, but I guess apparently in Kansas City you couldn't be Mormon, like it wasn't allowed or something. They'll arrest you or shoot you or something apparently, something like that.
I'll have to go back and rewatch or listen to the Mormon series from
the
last podcast. Maybe they talked about that. I can't remember.
In typical Fargo fashion, there's a bunch of different threads being tied together, and there's two characters who are escaped convicts, and the U.S. Marshal's hunting them down, and the U.S. Marshal's the Mormon character, and it's Timothy Oliphant.
Okay.
So
nice.
he plays once again. He's playing a U.S. Marshal, just not playing Raylan Givens. He's playing someone else. But
okay,
it's really good. I'm really enjoying the season so far. It's really great. Cool crime story going on. So that. Lastly, I want to say this before we move on. So there's a docu-series coming out from Showtime called The Comedy Store, which is based on the Comedy Store in L.A. And the history of the Comedy Store and how it got so big and how it created a bunch of these stars and how it was, all this stuff.
Right.
And it has a ton of different interviews with comedians in it. Bill Burr's in it and Bob Saget's in it. And
I assume Joe Rogan is in it somewhere.
not in the first episode. The guy who's making it is a filmmaker and a former comedian. I'd never seen his stand-up before, but apparently there's footage of him at the store doing stand-up. So he's a famous comedian, and he's talking to these comedians, and they all know who he is.
Yeah.
But he's talking to a lot of people who are currently still really popping, and then people who were famous in the 80s, 90s.
Tom Segura in there?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I don't know if Tom Segura is that active at the store. I don't know enough, obviously.
I think he is. I don't know. I bet you I know who won't be in it.
Who?
Crystalia.
Well, I think he's a Laugh Factory guy, I thought. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's talked about doing the sets at the Comedy Store.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do all of them because it just makes most sense.
I know a lot of his stuff on YouTube is from the Laugh Factory, but I don't think the Comedy Store has much stuff out on YouTube. At least I haven't seen much from the Comedy Store.
They interview like J.J. Walker, who is Dynamite, like that, old 70s actors. They interview Pauly Shore's not in it, but he's going to be probably because his mom was the owner of the store.
Okay.
I'm trying to think who else was in it. Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Seinfeld's in it, not as a direct interview, but he's in it as well.
Okay.
I believe
Chris Rock. I don't know. I actually don't.
Chris Rock's in it, I believe. I'm pretty sure they used a couple clips of him in there. They talk about Whitney. She's in it. A lot of comedians from the 80s. And they talk about like how the store was huge and making Dice Clay and all these famous comedians.
Yeah.
And it's weekly coming out. So this episode was just a creation of it and like kind of the general overview. So I'm looking forward to next week or this week and what they talk about because I'm a huge fan of comedy history. The big ones were this. Sorry, I completely spaced until now. They have like little chapters of the episode where they talk about big names and like it's like Jay Leno, David Letterman, J.J. Walker, all that kind of stuff. So those were the big names. And also Freddie Prinze was a big part of the episode too. So all that like late 70s, early 80s, ginormous comedian names like Freddie Prinze, like I said, Jay Leno, David Letterman. Yeah, I don't really care about Freddie Prinze. I've never really seen any of his stuff. All I know about him is his son.
Yeah, that's all I thought of. I was like, oh wait, that's not Freddie Prinze Jr. That's his dad.
All I know about Freddie Prinze is that he killed himself.
I didn't even know that.
He committed suicide. He shot himself in the face, I believe. But his roommate, his best friend, was also a comedian, and the legend is that he used his friend's gun, and his friend got it for him. And they interview his friend in the docuseries. And then they have this little back and forth, and David Letterman's in it, and David Letterman's like, well, I heard something else. And like, they interview Jay Leno, so they're interviewing a lot of really famous comedians about the store. Because Mitzi Shore, the owner, and Pauly Shore's mom, she passed away a couple years ago. So they do a whole big thing where they walk into her office for the first time, and it's never been touched, never been changed. They're pointing stuff out, and
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, and the reviews are kind of rough on it. Like I
Mm.
was looking at the reviews, and they're saying it's kind of like a C grade, like
Hmm.
an documentary, and I'm like, I watched the first episode and I was confused because I thought it was really well done. Like nothing, I didn't read these reviews. I saw them being like, yeah, it's like a 60%, 65%,
Hmm.
and I'm like, how are you gonna? Is it not like educational? Because it's not supposed to be funny. It's a
Right.
docu. Like, it wasn't funny. It's a docu series
Yeah.
about
I don't know.
comedy.
Is it like
Um,
critics that are saying this, or just like random
yeah, it's
people?
like critics, critics.
Interesting. Hmm.
And I didn't get it because to me it was like it was really well done from the first episode at least.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a review. It was from fucking maybe it wasn't like IndieWire or something. It was like yeah,
Hmm.
it's whatever, and I was like so confused because I thought it was such a well done documentary. But
Yeah, that's very strange.
that's all I did this week. So
Okay.
we can
It's
move
quite a bit.
into yeah, man.
4 weeks for both of us.
Had a lot of time
Beat 'em up,
to
guys! Go for broke!
check stuff out. What do you want to hit next, man? What do you want to do?
Oh, we can hit a couple of the news items. There's a
Okay.
couple of news items.
All right.
Um,
Let me.
We got one!
What do you want to hit up first, man?
this damn virus, dude, this son of a bitch virus, took away the Matrix, took away Dune, now it's taken away freaking the Batman.
Mhm.
Again, another year, 2022. I hate it, dude. I hate this.
Yeah,
year.
and I bet it's gonna take away Ghostbusters too.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I bet it will.
My heart can't take it anymore.
Because Disney's moving Soul to
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
I'm surprised they haven't said anything else because I thought Black Widow was supposed to come out in December. I'm surprised they haven't delayed that again.
Didn't they delay that again?
I don't think so. I think it was
I thought they
still
did.
supposed to come out years in December. I hadn't seen anything
I
else
think they
about
delayed it again. I swear.
Yeah, I don't know.
I swear they moved
I'm
it
surprised
from-
they're not just going to do the Mulan thing and just be like, all right, we're sick of this. Just put it out on VOD. Maybe they saw that Mulan didn't make that much money, so.
I saw an article, I swear, from like Collider or like Dateline from like Deadline, where it was like Disney claimed that Mulan made this much money, but in reality it didn't. And there's no way it made that much money that they're claiming.
Assume what they're saying is that it probably made. They're probably counting like the people that have like Disney Plus subscriptions, even though. Well, they can't be because it has to be because you have to buy Mulan separately. So
Yeah. The only I think they were claiming like $300 million or some bullshit, right?
I don't know. There's no way it made any money because I've heard like nobody talk about that movie except that they didn't want to watch it.
So, Screen Rant says it made $35 million opening weekend.
Okay.
But I swear people were saying it made like a ton of fucking money.
Interesting.
And like that's not clearly what it did. Unless they're trying to count people who also bought subscriptions just to watch this movie, but like that's not. So yeah, here's an article from denandgeek.com, and it says a new report suggests Mulan's Disney Plus release made north of 200 million.
Yeah.
But then there's other articles saying no, it made 35 million in opening weekend.
I would believe 35 million, especially because I feel like nobody talked about it.
I mean, I've seen people talk about it, but it wasn't good.
The only people I've seen talk about it are the people that were like, "This movie is worthless. Don't watch this movie."
Yeah, every review I saw of the movie was like, it makes no sense. They say they wanted to be grounded, yet they added a witch in it, and then there's no dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like why I wouldn't want them to put Black Widow on Disney Plus because I wouldn't care. Do you care about Black Widow at all?
I don't know. I mean, it looks fun. I really don't care about it for Black Widow. I care more about it for the fact that Taskmaster's in it, and I think Taskmaster is an interesting villain. But knowing Disney Plus and the way that they do, or knowing Disney and the way they do their villains in Marvel, he's probably going to be a boring, generic mercenary guy, which I'm not going to like. Because as a character, Taskmaster is interesting. But he's really the only reason I like even have interest in the movie, because I really don't care about Black Widow as a character that much. It's also too late because like I know she's dead, so I don't really know
Yeah,
why I have to like care about it.
I don't care about this movie or anything that happens in this movie.
I mean, I care about this more than like any of the other Marvel movies that are coming out, which is like, I mean, I don't care about those at all. So
Well, like which ones? The
anything
shows?
slated, anything slated.
I'm interested in Shang-Chi.
I don't care.
I'm
It's not
interested-
going to be if Iron Fist is any indication. It's not going to be a very well done martial arts movie. So
I think they're going to make it better martial arts because they have a Chinese or Asian guy as the lead. I think that alone, they're going to be like,
they had Asian girls, the female lead in Iron Fist.
yeah, but the white guy,
Yeah,
Danny Rand.
white people can do martial arts though.
Yeah, of course they can. I've seen Scott Adkins. I watch him every week
Oh yeah, good
on his
stuff, man.
on his podcast.
He's
But
a podcast.
It's called the Art of Action. You should check it out.
Yeah,
Every week he interviews action and stunt stars
Okay.
throughout history. And last week he interviewed Steven Seagal. And all the comments were like, "This is gonna
Action star
be
Steven Seagal.
no. Hey, hold on now, hold on. Let's put some spec on his name.
Mhm.
Okay, he has some
I've
banging.
been watching too much Tom Segura to put respect on his name.
He has some killer action movies from the late '80s, early '90s. He absolutely does.
Okay, yeah.
Above the Law is amazing.
Under Siege. Yeah.
Yes, he has amazing movies. Now, everything else past that, it's fucking Steven Seagal. But those like that like era of like 8 years, there's some good movies there for what they are. He interviews Steven Seagal, and I couldn't watch it. I hit play on it to check it out, and I first I do is pause the video, scroll down. The comments are like, "This is gonna be a good one," or like because every interview that Scott does, it's so well done, and Scott is such a good interview because you can tell he loves action movies because obviously he's an action star, but like he's like the current era, or there's like no one else. Like him, and Michael J. White are like the current action guys.
Yeah.
Obviously Tony Jaa, Iku Uwais. Are like those are the current bastion of like action guys, or stars in general. So like Scott Adkins is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
And he interviews a ton of people. He's interviewed people from the '90s that I remember watching as a kid, being like, "Oh my god, I haven't thought of you in years."
Yeah.
He's interviewed Dolph Lundgren. He's interviewed a lot of Jackie Chan's stunt team. He did the last week. He did that. One of the guys from Jackie Chan's stunt team. He's done a lot of guys who are and girls. Cynthia Rothrock too. He's great.
I need to listen to that then, because I mean I've done a little bit with like action stuff because I know Node on their stuff they have their series where they break down
the stuntman,
movies, and they have their stuntman stuff, and so I've hearing those guys interviews talking about being a stunt coordinator and stuff like that.
This is you can't even compare it because you have. I love the corridor videos. I think they're really fun.
Yeah.
But this is a stunt martial artist talking to stunt people about stunt stuff.
Yeah.
And he breaks down their martial art background. He breaks down the movies they're in, their famous scenes, and like it's such a well done podcast, and it's a video podcast as well. So you can go on his YouTube channel and watch it. But the comments to the Steven Seagal video were like, "It's gonna be edited, I bet." And like people didn't downlike it. People liked it because it's Steven Seagal. People like, yeah, I want to see Scott talk to Steven Seagal. But so I hit play after reading the comments, and I scroll a little bit past the intro, and Scott's like, I can't remember the exact lines. This is like again like a week ago, where he's like, well, so like as like you're like the first white guy to ever like teach like Aikido, right, or whatever. And Steven Seagal goes, well, first off, I'm not white. My dad is Native American, blah, 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 blah. My mom is Jewish or whatever the fuck, Hungarian or whatever. And I had to pause the video, hit back, and I said, I'm sorry, Scott, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll watch any other person. Yeah. But when I see a clear as fuck white guy say, I'm not white. Oh my god! It was literally a Tom Segura bit, and I really hope that someone clips that and sends it to fucking your mom's house.
I'm waiting for the clip from your mom's house to pop up where they talk about this interview. Then.
No, I want someone to clip that part of this, just that one bit of the podcast being like, "I'm not white," just
Yeah.
so the Tom Segura. Yeah. So,
Ah,
but you should watch the podcast. It's really well done.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, I definitely want to check
and
that
what they
out.
do is with this, the really smart thing he does is that every week before the podcast comes out of the next interview, he posts like an intro like primer clip of like
Okay.
highlights of the star. So like
Okay.
if I don't know who the star is, I watch the video and I see, and like I've actually watched movies because of that the last couple of weeks.
Oh.
These are all like 80s, 90s like action movies.
Yeah.
And one of those movies is called oh god, early 90s I believe, mid 90s, Perfect Weapon or Perfect Killer. It's
Hmm.
something like that. Perfect something. And it's about a white guy who
Okay.
does like karate, and he like comes back to his hometown and he has to fight a bunch of Korean mafia guys. And the interview came out recently, but the main lead star in it is Mariska Hargitay of Law and Order SVU. So it's
Oh.
just a little coincidence.
Okay.
So I don't know how we got here from movies from Black
I
Widow.
can't remember. Oh, it was like I don't know. It was that 12 Steps to Hitler, where it was Black Widow to Shang-Chi to martial arts
Shang-Chi,
to white people
yes.
to Steven Seagal.
Shang-Chi. I'm looking forward to Shang-Chi, man, because I've said before, I'll say it again, and I always have to clarify this to give
Hmm.
myself some PC modern day 2020 street cred. I'm Asian American. I'll take my glasses off so people can see
Yeah.
that I'm Asian American. Because people don't
Okay.
believe me sometimes until I take my glasses off, and they go, "Oh my god, you look really fucking Asian." Zach, do I look Asian with my glasses off?
You look Asian, but
It,
I mean, to me, you look Asian with your glasses on. So
there you go. But with my glasses off, it's like, oh, wow,
it's woo!
your eyes are
It's
really
there.
small. Um, Shang-Chi being the first Asian lead
Hmm.
Marvel movie, I don't give two fucks about.
Hmm.
I don't give two fucks about, right? I want it to be a good martial arts movie, so I'll
Yeah.
watch it. Still, Blade is still the number one,
Yeah. Blade is number one for
number
sure.
one, and they just announced a 4K of Blade.
They did Blade, and then they also are doing Moon Knight. I like Moon Knight a lot, so I'm down for
Moon
Moon
Knight would be
Knight too.
cool. Moon Knight would be cool.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not Blade.
Yeah. No, it's not Blade.
This will be the
That's for sure.
first time in the like, because we got magic, we got like spiritual like martial arts with Iron Fist. This is the first time we're getting like paranormal, like supernatural, right? In the MCU,
Um,
we've had magic, we haven't had like supernatural.
I think so.
Like Daredevil's had the magic ninjas and all that
Yeah.
kind of shit, and we've had
Yeah.
Doctor
I don't think there was like
Strange,
ghosts or anything
like
like that.
ghosts,
Yeah.
vampires, demon. We've had demons with Doctor Strange, but like, you know, stuff like that. This is the first time we're gonna get like, actual. Hey, there's another world existing with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, Mahershala Ali being 50, I don't have a lot of high hopes for him doing high back spin kicks. Um, but who knows?
Is he really 50?
He's 50, dude. Right?
Damn. All right.
Let me do a double check real quick. Mahershala. How the fuck do you spell that?
Possible.
Here we
I
go.
mean, he's probably definitely gonna be 50 by the time Blade comes out, because that's not coming out
He's
till
46. So
yeah, so he'll be 50 by then.
hold on. How old is Wesley Snipes? We did this before, but I'm gonna do it again. How old is Wesley Snipes?
How old is he?
He's
I think Wesley
58.
Snipes is like 50. Yeah.
He's 58.
Yeah.
So hold on. 58. Remember that number, 58. Okay. So 2020 minus 1998, 22. So 58 minus 22. He was 30. He's a decade younger than Mahershala
Okay.
Ali when Blade came out. And he's a martial artist
Yeah.
already. We saw him in fucking Demolition Man.
You saw him in Blade.
He was yoked. So
Yeah.
like when Blade comes out, I'm not like, wow, Wesley Snipes. Like I've seen you do back spin kicks. It looks fucking good. I wonder if they're gonna have Frost,
Mm,
or are they
I
gonna
kind of
have?
hope they don't. I kind of hope they just do their own thing.
Do you want them
There
to
are
have,
other vampires.
should
you
there
can
be a
do.
Whistler?
There definitely needs to be Whistler. The real problem is, do you need to have Ryan Reynolds in it?
Oh, Jessica Biel,
Jessica Biel with her laser bow and arrow.
laser bow
whip.
and arrow. Well, moving on to more important good news. Um, Cyberpunk 2077 has
Yes.
officially gone gold.
Beat 'em up, guys.
Which
Go
means
for
no more
broke.
delays. Thank God.
No more delays unless they can come out and be like, "Hey, the factory
Or
fucked up.
yeah, unless the factory messed something up.
Yeah, the factory messed something up." This is good news, man, because we're a month away from
We're so close, man.
from it coming out. That's really exciting to me because we've been waiting so fucking long
It's
between the
been
delays or
an
whatever.
extra year at this point.
Seriously,
An extra year. 'Cause it was supposed to come out in like, yeah, it was originally supposed to come out in like March.
yeah,
No,
last
April.
March.
April.
Yeah,
It was supposed
April.
to- April. And then
So
yeah, it got delayed to what was it? It went from April to September, right? And then September to November.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm looking really forward to this, man. I've been so hyped.
Yeah.
The hardest problem now is trying to make sure that I can get an Xbox.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Hopefully, it's doable, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those flip of the coins. I'm not even like trying to buy a PS5 because of that whole pre-order debacle.
Oh yeah, no way.
But yeah, hopefully an Xbox will be attainable for that. That would be nice.
I really also agree. I concur with that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you look at this Resident Evil stuff?
I know. So I'm assuming that this is the Netflix Resident Evil. It's like an animated series, or is this like a legit?
This is like a new movie.
I didn't even know they were doing a new movie.
Yeah, this is like a
Because I
brand
knew
new.
that they were doing. Because Netflix has like an animated series coming out for Resident Evil that is
Yes.
focusing on like the
There is 3 Resident Evil things happen. There's the animated one. There's
Okay.
the Netflix live action thing with like Wesker or whatever.
Oh yeah, they are doing a Wesker series too. I forgot about that.
And then there's this one, which is like a full cast.
So this is like a reboot, right?
Yeah, this is like a reboot.
I don't care.
If
I mean,
listen,
I guess. Well, who's directing it? I don't know.
it's being directed by
Hold on. Star.
Johannes Roberts, who made 47 Meters Down.
I never watched 47 Meters Down.
But the cast is like,
I mean, it's got Robbie Amell. I like Robbie Amell a lot.
but it has
Hooper.
Neil McDonough, and I love him.
I don't remember him.
Look up Neil McDonough, you'll know exactly who the fuck he is.
Neil McDonough. Okay.
You've seen him in a lot of shit.
Neil McDonough. Oh, there he is, right there. Oh, that
Yeah.
guy. I love that guy.
To me, most notably from Band of Brothers, but he's also been in Justified. He's in a lot of different shows.
He was in. I'm pretty sure he was in that joke Die Hard movie that came out like a couple of years ago. What was it called?
He's a working
Maybe that
actor,
was
man.
Maybe that was. Yeah, it was Game Over Man, which is basically the workaholic guys doing like Die Hard.
The big thing is, so Robbie Amell playing Chris Redfield.
Yes.
The biggest
I don't
problem
know if he's jacked enough for that.
The biggest problem I have is this the guy from fucking Victorious, Avin Jogia. He's gonna play fucking Leon S. Kennedy.
Hold on. So who's doing what now?
Avin Jogia, Jogia.
I really don't care about who's playing.
He's gonna play
Leon. Or do they even have Jill in here, or is it just
Hannah John Kamen? She's playing Jill, and I think she played the she was Ant-Man. I think she played the what's it called? Ant-Man 2, the other character.
The Ghost?
Yeah, she played that character.
Okay.
And then Tom Hopper is gonna play Wesker. I don't remember who Tom Hopper is. Oh, Tom Hopper is the guy from fucking Umbrella Academy. He plays Space Boy. And that's a cool pick.
Okay.
That's a cool pick.
Tom Hopper. I could see him being a Wesker.
But the other characters, like, I don't love the idea of.
I don't know what even game this is going to be based off of though.
This is the first game, I bet, dude.
Claire's not in the first game though, is she?
No, she's not. But they're
I thought it was really just that game's just Jill, isn't it?
No, the first game is
like it's not even Chris.
It's the Stars team.
Right.
So Chris is in it.
Is Chris in it?
Because you can play as Chris or Jill.
Oh, I thought that was
But
just Jill.
the fact that Leon's in it, that's the word part. Because Claire and Leon are in the second game.
Yeah,
So I don't know what they're gonna do unless they're gonna do like a
they're gonna combine
multi-sprawling.
both into one movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless they're gonna do cut scenes between like here's the mansion, and then here's the city, and we're gonna have. I can't imagine them doing that, but who knows?
That just didn't sound very good. I don't know.
As long as they make the movie like actually resident, like you don't. It's such an easy. Just take the game,
Mm-hmm.
make it movie.
Yeah,
You don't gotta make it up this crazy fucking
yeah.
Mia Jovovich thing.
Her weird character that is
Yeah.
thrust into the Resident Evil universe that makes no sense.
Yeah, and if you do the movies long enough, eventually you can give Robbie Amell a bunch of steroids and make him super yoked, like Chris Redfield is in Resident Evil 5. And
Oh my god, he's so big in
and he
Resident
can
Evil.
punch boulders and they can explode.
Yeah,
But you have
Thank
to
God.
wait. You have to wait a little bit.
yeah. Got to get up there. Gotta
Um,
work towards it.
Did you watch the trailer for Joe Manganiello's new movie?
Yeah, I did.
How?
This trailer looks freaking jacked.
So it's called Arch Enemy,
Yeah.
and it almost reminds me of like an opposite version of like not Hitch, fucking Hitch. What's it called? What's it called with Will Smith?
Oh,
Hutch? No, what's it called?
Hancock.
Hancock.
Yeah.
Like, well, like Hancock, he knows he's from a different planet, right? Or he knows he's a superhero.
He knows he's a superhero.
But like this movie's like, okay, he knows he is, but no one else is like. Everyone else is like, you're fucking full of shit.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to have powers in it. But I
Not
guarantee.
really. He just like beats somebody up.
Yeah, I guarantee at the end of the movie, it's either gonna be one of two ways: he's fucking crazy, or he's gonna have to use his superpowers.
I hope so. I hope he has superpowers. He talks about he's an alien. He's got all this other shit. He talks about he's like, what was it? Oh, he says he can't use his powers because whatever doesn't exist on Earth.
Yeah, it doesn't exist on Earth.
Yeah, something like that.
I think the trailer looks really fun.
Looks fun.
A good action movie, and this is all I need from him to do. Is to keep making really cool black metal inspired D&D shirts that I'll never buy because they're too expensive. And then do action movies. That's all you do. That's what you can. You can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Like that's like your thing. That's the way you look. That's your
He did
style.
Magic Mike, man. Don't put him in a box like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, clearly, I don't know if he was the main.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Did you watch the Invincible trailer?
Yeah, dude. Freaking jacked. Oh, I can't wait for this freaking thing to come out.
What a good cast too.
Solid cast. I like the voice actor cast a lot. They all sound just like how I imagine they would sound.
I was really worried about how they're gonna make this, but it looks like exactly what I want. Invincible
It reminds
to be.
me a lot of like it reminds me a lot of and I don't know if this is what they were going for, but like early 2000s Cartoon Network, like Teen Titans and like Ben 10. It like looks
Right.
like that kind of art style.
I think the
I'm
biggest
interested
thing.
to see when they go like full gore with that art style.
Yeah. I think the big thing is too is like I was like when I was watching the trailer, I was like, dude, people who have never read Invincible,
They have no idea what
they
they're in
think it's
for.
gonna be so, like because there's the bloody scene in the trailer.
Yeah.
People are gonna think that it's just a random like could get violent like cartoon. I'm like, dude, there's so like this
Literally,
show
like explodes a guy.
if this show tackles anything, it's gonna tackle like pregnancy and like gaining weight and like all this like shit. Like it's gonna tackle so much stuff, and it's gonna have such brutal fights. I think it looks really good though, and Steven Yeun sounds great as. Did you watch the trailer for Steven Yeun's new movie?
I don't think so. What was his new movie?
I forget what it's called, but it's a movie. It's like an indie movie about a Korean family who immigrates to America, like in the Midwest or in Texas or
I
something
think
like
I saw
that.
that. I think I saw that pop up in like an ad on YouTube.
And it's about like them moving to the Midwest or like to Texas or somewhere where they live in a trailer and they work a farm.
Yeah.
And it's like them like assimilating into like this little country town. And it's about this Korean family living there with like their Korean grandmother. And like it's Steven Yeun just full on Korean. And you know, and I watched the trailer and I was like, how does this guy not have more like shit going on. Like he's acting in a different language. Like yes,
Yeah.
he's Korean American. I understand that, but how many people do you know that can just full movie,
Yeah.
different language? Like yes, again, I understand that he's Korean American, but I've seen him play in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He speaks English perfect because he's
Yeah.
American, right? So like he's diving in like, yo, I'm gonna go full Korean and it's gonna be an American movie and I'm gonna cast Korean people, or we're gonna whoever made the movie is gonna cast Korean people, and he's going full actor. If this guy doesn't get more roles after this movie, it's ridiculous because that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
He's a good actor. He was one of the ones that I like the most from The Walking Dead. So, yeah.
I only watched the first season of Walking Dead. That's all. That's how I know good he is.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but it was like I watched the first season, I skipped the second one,
Yeah.
and then I watched up to like season 5, and then I just fell off. That show's ending.
Yeah, but they're making a new one though.
They're making they've already had a spin-off, but they're making like a spin-off of this.
Yeah, they got a spin-off of another one.
Because they did another one where it's like, there's like a group in California. There's like, that's like the first spin-off.
Yeah, there's
My brother loved that show.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one where they're like, in like California or something.
It was the Indian guy and like something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like the black guy shows up in it at one point. The one from the main storyline.
Oh, yeah, really?
I think Morgan is his name,
true?
I think. The walking
Gotcha.
stick guy? Yeah. He shows
This man
up.
has no dick.
Did you watch this MK11 trailer?
Yeah, I did, dude. The only thing I care about it is that Rambo showed up. Hell yeah.
So I posted.
MK11 is basically like 90s action stuff.
Yeah, I posted in the Facebook group that I'm in, like a pop culture group that I'm in, called Serial at Midnight. It's a YouTube channel. It's really great. Physical media, all kind of stuff. But I posted in the group a screenshot of Rambo, and I was like, I don't play MK at all. I never cared about it. I've never thought Mortal Kombat was cool. I never cared. I had one game, like maybe it was like 3 or something, I think. Whatever was on PS2 or PS1. Or one of the ones that were like Mortal Kombat something. Like insert whatever. I never gave a shit about Mortal Kombat. I thought it was super over the top and lame my entire life. And then I see they bring in Terminator, right? And I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool, except they didn't get Arnold to do the voice. So it's another guy pretending to be Arnold.
I'm like, whatever.
Which is like, it's fine, but you can definitely like hear it sometimes.
Sure, but in theory, it's cool, right?
Yes.
And then I watched this trailer, and you give me.
So you didn't know before this, because you know they had your boy in it also. They
Which
got
one?
RoboCop in here.
I did, and I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. So I watched people play with him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. But then I watched this trailer and I see John Jay.
Yeah.
You're gonna give me John Jay in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You're pretty much making.
He's gonna be voiced by Sylvester
Yeah.
Stallone.
You're literally just making like Mortal Kombat action stars. So the next DLC, I want to see fucking Time Cop or fucking, I want to see fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme in this game.
I want Bloodsport Jean-Claude Van Damme show.
Dude, you have well because it's
because that's basically Johnny.
That's
Cage
Johnny Cage.
basically
That's
Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude. Yeah. Because even the split stuff, that's all homage to Jean-Claude. So like, if they gave me like, okay, so my top 2 Jean-Claudes I want in Mortal Kombat. Bloodsport would be great, even though that's already in the game. That's Johnny Cage. John Woo Hard Target. Jean-Claude, where he's playing a Cajun man with a mullet. That's who I want in Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Those 2, or he plays a French Foreign Legion soldier in what's the movie fucking called? Oh God, Legionnaire. I think it's what's called.
Sounds right.
Or Time Cop. Or
Time Cop would be great.
Time Cop would be great. Or Universal Soldier. Jean-Claude. Who else? I want Bruce Willis. I want John McClane.
John McClane would be awesome.
I want. Okay, here's what I want. I want Murtaugh and Riggs from Lethal Weapon. Or they're a tag team where you can like you can like MVC tag out. I want that because I want both of them. I want to have fucking Murtaugh be like, I'm too old for this shit, and he fucking shoots the gun, and I want fucking Riggs doing like karate kicks. This game could be literally my dream action game if they just add in more and more action stars.
They've got the good theme because Mortal Kombat 10's theme was basically the horror game because that was the one where they had
Like Jason and Freddy and
they
shit.
had Jason. They didn't have Freddy because they had Freddy in 9, so they couldn't put
Okay.
him in 10. But they had Jason. They had Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
They had who else did they have? Well, they had Alien and Predator. They had who else did they have? They had another horror one.
So this game, MK11, so far.
But this is basically the 90s action one.
So this game has Terminator and RoboCop.
It's got Terminator, RoboCop, and then it's gonna have Stallone, yeah,
and Rambo.
and Rambo.
Jackie Chan, man.
Jackie Chan would be great.
Jackie
Chan or
Chan,
like
Jet Li.
yeah, Jet Li would be great.
Like these things would never happen. Like, dude, you know what would be really rad? Indiana Jones.
Oh shit, dude.
That would never happen, but it'd be sick.
It'd be a weird.
Could you imagine like making Indiana Jones do some brutal ass shit?
Dude,
like,
you know what we gotta have? We were just talking about it. God,
Who?
Steven Skull.
Dude, yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
have Steven Skull show up.
Yeah. Fucking Neo.
Oh my god.
Like
I'm surprised Keanu hasn't already shown up.
John Wick.
Yeah.
John Wick.
John Wick?
It would
Oh
fit. It would fit.
John Wick in that world? Oh my god.
Like the idea that like just the potential. And you know, like,
Christian Bale from Equilibrium doing gung fu on everybody.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Blade. Why isn't Blade in this?
Yeah. I don't know.
I know it's a
Probably
Marvel
because it's
thing,
Warner
obviously.
Brothers.
Like
So
the
that's probably why.
idea that I could potentially get, like, the fact that I could have Terminator versus Rambo is crazy to me.
Yeah.
The fact that they don't have like alternating skin for Terminator to be like Commando, like John Matrix, or like Predator.
Yeah.
You know, they just didn't need the cast. They need to bring in Predator cast. You know,
They had in X where they had the Predator in there. They had Jax, the black character. You could basically make him
okay,
the guy from Predator. I can't
Yeah.
remember his name now.
Dylan.
Dylan. Yeah, you could make him Dylan from
Yeah.
Predator, which is pretty sweet. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
playing as Jax.
I literally just played the
So-
drop a second ago.
Yeah.
I played the Predator drop a second ago. I
Yeah.
would love to have this game have all that shit.
Yeah.
I would buy it just for the DLC of those
It'd be great,
characters.
dude. Oh my god.
I don't give a shit about any Mortal Kombat character. I don't care about fucking
Yeah.
Sub-Zero.
Well, that's the weirdest part about this game is that, like, especially when you're looking at like this announcement of the combat pack, is you've got the Mortal Kombat community that's basically like pissed off
Why?
because all these guest characters keep coming in, and first of all, you've got the combat packs for Mortal Kombat now are like smaller and take more time. Because the first one they had like 5 characters show up, but it took like basically a year to get them all. Because I think that was around the time that like everybody was like lashing out against like crunch, and basically it came out that like DLC characters like were kind of crunchy if you were like putting them out like every 3 months or something like that.
Right.
So they spread their release schedule out more, and now they introduced RoboCop and 2 other characters with the expansion they did like a couple months ago or something like that, where it was like the 3 characters you got at once, and now the next combat pack is only another 3 characters.
But who cares? They're giving you 2 older characters.
Yeah, but that's the problem
Right?
is that like fighting game fans are greedy and they just want. First of all, I don't get it because they basically just want all the characters from the last game plus more. So now you get Rain and you got Melina, which is like the number one thing that all the Mortal Kombat community was like crying about with 11. They were like, why isn't Melina in the game? And now the Melina's back.
Listen.
And now that they have Melina, they're like, where are the cyborgs? Where's blah
Listen.
blah blah?
Does this game have Liu Kang?
It's got Liu Kang.
Does it have
It's got Kung
Raiden?
Lao. It's got Raiden.
Does it have Johnny
It's got
Cage?
Johnny Cage.
Sonya?
It's got Sonya Blade.
Jax?
Jax.
Does it got?
It's got
what's the?
Shang
What?
Tsung was a DLC
Shit.
character.
Okay, hold on. So hold
Shao
on.
Kahn.
Was Shao Kahn a DLC?
No, Shao Kahn was main roster.
What's the Asian guy, spirit guy? That's
Shang
Shang Tsung. He was
was
DLC.
He was the first. He was one of the first DLC characters.
Okay, so but Liu Kang, Raiden,
Yeah.
Sonya, Johnny Cage, Jax, Shao Kahn.
Oh no, Reptile. That's the thing. Everybody wants.
Okay,
Reptile.
hold on. Scorpion.
Scorpion's there and Sub-Zero.
No, these are on disc.
Yeah. On
Okay.
disc.
Could you imagine if you bought MK11
Mm-hmm.
and those characters were not there.
Yeah.
I'm talking, hey, every Street Fighter fan when they bought fucking Street Fighter 3.
Yeah.
Was
The
that
only ones you had was Ryu and Ken, right? That was it. And Chun-Li. Right?
I don't think that you even
Or was that
had,
not till Third Strike?
I think that was the second one I thought. I
can't remember.
thought Street Fighter 3 the first one was just Alex.
Alex, that's all you got. You
And
got
then
Alex, you got Remy.
And then 2 I thought you got Ryu.
I can't remember.
I
Probably,
think so.
That might be.
Cause I thought that it was like, hey, we're gonna try something, and people were like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Well, it's at the point where it's like, yeah, it really is like, I don't know. It feels weird because it's like, I like games like Third Strike where you've got a whole bunch of new characters and stuff like that, but it's like, I just find it very strange because a lot of the fighting game community, I mean, I get it because, everybody's got their character that they like and that they want to see. But it feels like a lot of times, especially when it comes to fighting games, they want all the same characters plus more.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know, it's awfully greedy. I don't know.
Well, it definitely is that sense of like, well, why couldn't you just give me why take away what I had? Just give me more because I already had those before.
Yeah, which is why Smash Brothers spoiled everybody. Because Smash Brothers Ultimate was basically like, we're just going to give you everybody. And we're just going to add more on top of that.
Let's be honest, though. To compare the work of animation in detail between Smash and Mortal Kombat would be like...
Oh, no, man. Cloud looks pretty good more in Smash.
Yeah, but you have how many moves?
I don't know. I can't count off the top.
Okay, so you have like what? Up A, down side. You have like 4 directional moves plus A plus B.
4 directional moves plus A plus B plus Smash.
So you have 8 plus another 4.
Plus air.
Plus air.
Okay,
so you have, who makes those games? What studio? Is it just Nintendo?
I think it's just Nintendo. Maybe like the Smash Project or something like that.
So
what it's called.
Whoever makes the game they're sitting there complaining about their work schedule and their animation stuff, and then you have across the street you have fucking Tekken team being like, hey, eat dicks. I have to animate so much bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love Harada so much, because that's basically his attitude. It's like, eat dicks, don't ask me for shit. That's his famous shit.
I have to animate literally 90 moves.
Yeah.
and then animate them linking together. Like, eat fuck off. So to me, like, if people are mad about, again, I'm not a Mortal Kombat fan, but I understand the pain. I bought vanilla SF4 being like, okay, this is a very small roster. Yeah. But the idea that, like, you're getting 2 characters that you want, so what's wrong with getting a pop culture character? As long as the pop culture character is cool. Like, if the pop culture character is lame, well, I get it. Like, that blows. But Rambo's cool. And it fits into the whole atmosphere of what Mortal Kombat really is, in terms of, like, they're just a bunch of, like, movie nerds who made movie references in the game. Like, I don't play the games, but I know that, like...
Yeah.
I knew that Johnny Cage is Jean-Claude. Like, that's obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if Rambo didn't fit, but he does fit. Like, Terminator fits. Freddy and Jason, those characters fit into the vibe of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
If it was like fucking, like, Indiana Jones doesn't fit, but, like...
Yeah.
Those other characters, like, make sense in the sense of, like, okay, who can we guest star in this game and not make it super corny?
Yeah.
Like, Rambo fits. So,
no, I feel you.
That alone makes me want to buy the game just so I can play as John Jay.
Yeah. For sure, dude.
Looking at the news, there's some Jurassic stuff. Who cares? Thor 4 stuff. Who cares?
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of other stuff that I cared about.
Okay.
I mean, the Godzilla thing was cool, but...
Yeah, who cares, though, really?
Not much about it. I don't know.
All right, well, we can move into the last bit of the podcast.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and just play this segment sound.
Excellent!
All right, guys. Episode 100, last segment of the show.
Beat 'em up, guys! Go for broke!
What is our week's topic for this week?
The topic for this week is... favorite Halloween candy to celebrate the spooky season. I really have like a top 5 list like I had last week for costumes, but I have personal favorites.
Oh yeah,
Um, Reese's is up there at the top. I would say it is probably one of my favorite candies.
sure.
Chocolate peanut butter man. I don't know what it is.
What? So like, here's how I look at it. Right
Okay.
there are, to me, must-have candy
Mm.
that if I didn't get them when I was a kid in my bucket,
Yeah.
I would consider the whole thing a wash.
Okay.
I would consider like there was no point in me going out.
Okay.
And those candies were in tier lists. So like
Okay.
number one for me, yes, I agree. Reese's is number one.
Yeah.
But if I got Reese's Pieces, I would throw it away,
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the Reese's Pieces.
right? But my favorite candy besides Reese's is Sweet Tarts.
Sweet tarts are not bad.
Like the basic standardized sweet tart, not the chewy,
Yeah.
just the standardized like chalk ass circles.
Mhm.
So like if I walked around a neighborhood and came home and I had like some Reese's and some sweet tarts, which you always get the little pack of them, the little
Yeah.
two of them, I'm already happy, right?
Yeah.
But if I got like fucking Tootsie Roll,
Hmm. I like
See-
the flavored Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls to me are communism. To me, Tootsie Rolls are trash candy that people who know they're trash give away because they can't afford to get good shit.
Hmm.
Like, don't give anything out there.
I would say though that I like Tootsie Pops.
I think those are gross.
What?
I think those are gross. I think
You
people.
like the charm lollipops then?
The which ones?
The bubblegum one?
Those are
Charm?
fine. Those are fine.
Alright.
Those are fine. To me, Tootsie Rolls are so gross that those people who buy those bags to give them out, you might as well just turn your light off. Don't even keep it on, because no kid is hyped to get Tootsie Rolls. There's kids like you, Zach, who are like, I'll eat them.
Yeah, that's true. I've
But
never
if
been
you-
hyped for Tootsie Rolls.
Have you ever been like, Zach, it's fucking 5 o'clock, you're getting ready, and you're like, guys, I cannot wait to go out and walk around and get home and dump my bucket and eat Tootsie Rolls. Or
Yeah.
you're like, I want some fucking Reese's, I want some fucking snack size Snickers, I want some snack size Three Musketeers.
I wasn't a big Snickers guy when I was a kid, but I loved Crunch Bars. Give me some
Crunch.
snack-sized Crunch Bars. Oh my god, that
See
was
now, were you a Crunch
Loved.
bar fan? Did you like Crunches or did you like what was the other one? The Hershey one.
I don't remember the Hershey one.
There's Mr. Goodbar, which is the peanut butter one,
Yeah.
and there's the red one, Crackle.
Oh,
Crackle.
I think I liked Crunch more than Crackle.
Crunch is good.
Yeah.
Crunch is good.
Crunch
So-
was definitely like
so-
oh, that was a good one for me.
For you in Halloween specifically, not in everyday life.
Yeah.
And for Halloween, because it's obviously the Halloween season,
Yes.
were you a
'Cause-
chocolate or a sweet, like a candy in terms of like
Mm.
sweet, sour, gummy? Like, what was your preference for candy that you when you got home after your trick or treating, and you
Mm.
dump your bag or your bucket? What did you want to see more of?
I think chocolate. I think chocolate was always the stuff that I ate first.
Really?
Especially like Reese's, Crunch, Milky Ways is a big one. Oh my God, Milky Ways. Huh!
So what
God.
were things that you did not want to see?
I hated those the soda top.
Oh yeah, the little small ones with the shit in there.
Yeah, that one was weird with like the wax sodas or whatever. I
Yeah.
didn't like the bottle tops either.
Yeah,
'cause
bottle caps.
The big ones for me was Wonka was split into 2 tiers
Uh-huh.
of either God tier candy or garbage candy.
Okay, lay it on me.
Bottle caps were garbage for me.
Mhm.
I like Nerds. Nerds is like S tier candy.
Okay.
is Nerds.
Any flavor,
Any flavor.
really?
Gobstoppers is up there.
Really? Okay.
With I would say Gobstoppers is like A tier. 'Cause
Okay.
it's like the jawbreaker type of thing. I don't want jawbreakers all the time. But I would say Gobstoppers is like A tier. I'm trying to think of the other ones. What are some other Willy Wonka candies that you have? Oh, Fun Dip. Fun Dip is S tier.
Mhm.
Fun Dip was the top. Until you ran out of powder and all you had was the chalk left, and that chalk did not taste that good.
So you get home and you have a bunch of Nerds boxes, the little tiny ones.
Oh, I swallow those.
It's a good day,
Good day.
right?
See tiny nerds boxes that I can have like 5 in like a sitting of like watching an anime and just like
So if you got
dump them in.
bottle caps or the soda ones, you were
Oh,
disappointed.
bottle cap was a wash. I'd like throw those out to let my brothers eat it. But
Yeah,
my brothers wouldn't eat them either, so they'd
like
just be sitting there.
that's exactly what it was for me for like Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
Like if I saw now addendum asterisks
Mm.
Tutti Frutti, different story.
Tutti Frutti, I can't remember.
Different story.
Tutti Frutti was. I don't remember if this was the same thing because I remember Tootsie Roll had like flavored Tootsie Rolls.
Yes.
Those were not bad.
Now I don't know if that the official name
I don't know if they
is
were.
a Tutti Frutti,
I can't remember.
but when I was a kid,
They had
in-
good stuff because they
in
had
DC
orange. Orange was good. I'm trying to remember the other flavors.
blue. There's
I remember blue.
there's
Blue
a-
was like vanilla.
There's a blue one, there's a red one.
There was orange. There was a yellow. There was green.
Tootsie Fruit
think that's
Rolls.
it.
Now I called them Tutti Fruities as a kid.
Yeah.
Let's see the bag.
that's all.
There's purple, orange, yellow, green.
I don't remember purple. Damn.
But yeah, those I was down with as long as it wasn't vanilla. But if I got Tootsie Rolls, if I got fucking Milk Duds.
You know, I don't mind Milk Duds, honestly.
Zach, hold on, real
I prefer
quick.
Whoppers, though.
Whoppers are infinitely better.
Yes.
There's a candy that you like that I've seen you get by choice at movie theaters, and I don't understand.
Are you going to disrespect Mike and Ike's right now?
I think
I love Mike and Ike's.
that Mike and Ike's are pieces of trash. And
How
when I would get the
Mike
little
and Ike's are S tier.
when I got the little boxes of them in Halloween, I would be legitimately depressed.
Mike and Ike's were solid.
Because to me, Mike and Ike's
I would say original Mike and Ike's were not that good, but Mike and Ike's has good flavored boxes.
yeah, but at
'Cause
Halloween you only get the fucking yellow orange bullshit box.
Well, that's true. Yeah, well, I mean, speaking of Halloween, because yeah, you're gonna get the yellow box. Yellow box, Mike and Ike's was like C tier. It's not that good.
Like
I eat them,
I
but they're
would
not that good.
rather someone give me the fucking peppermint ones, the tamales, hot tamales.
Ew.
Dude.
No. That's like F.
I would rather get hot tamales than someone.
I would much rather get Mike and Ike's than tamales.
Well, you like Mike and Ike's.
Yeah, I don't mind Mike and Ike's.
Like Milk Duds, to me, Mike and Ike's, Milk Duds, Tootsie Rolls are like.
For me, it was spicy candy is not candy to me. That does
I
not.
hey,
I don't like that shit.
I get it, dude. My point is this: when I would go to the store and I would buy a bag of candy, even now.
For our movie days when we would go, we would
Or
buy.
not even that. It's like even not just for home.
Oh.
A bag of assorted candy, like even for Halloween for kids.
Uh,
And I'm looking at the bag, and the bag choice is like it's always like 2 or 3 like banger, Milky Way, Three Musketeers, Snickers, Skittle, Sweet Tart,
Skittles is not bad.
and then you get a Mike and Ike. And that's so clearly the trash candy that if you put a bowl outside and say, "Hey, take one, please," at the end of the night, everything will be gone except for one thing: Mike and Ike. And I guarantee if I put a camera above the bowl and filmed all night, and the only people that will take Mike and Ike's are fucking weird kids. But Milk Duds are bad too, man. What's the ones?
The problem I have with Milk Duds is that Milk Duds melt too easily, and they get stuck in the box, and they make it hard to eat. Because that's the biggest detriment to me, besides flavoring, is how easy it is to eat.
What's the candy that looks like Mike and Ike in the sense of the box, but they're like flat. They're like square.
Oh, I know what you're talking. They're like jujubes or like chews or something.
What are they called? No, they're not. They're not like pills like Mike and Ike's. They're like the little fucking flat, like the little flat.
They're like little tiny hills.
Yeah, what are those things called?
I think they're called like jujubes or chews or something like that.
Candy like
Juju chews or something.
Mike and Ike. What the hell are those things called, man?
Hold on. I'll fucking find this shit. Hold on,
I'm gonna
please.
Google worst Halloween candy. I guarantee it's gonna
It's
come
just
up.
gonna show up.
It's gonna show up. I guarantee it.
Chew Halloween.
I
Chewy.
don't know what it's called, man.
Hold on, I got you. I'll figure it out. Hold on.
I
give me a
can't
second.
fucking remember, bro.
It's,
Hold on. I think I just saw it. Dots.
Dots. That's what it is. Okay.
So dots.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, dude.
Tell me.
Where do you stand? I'm gonna give you two different things.
Okay.
Two candies.
Okay.
Where do you stand on lemon heads? Hold on. Where do you
Okay.
stand on good and plenty? Lastly,
Okay.
where do you stand on candy corn?
Candy corn's D tier for sure.
Okay.
Don't like candy corn.
Yeah.
I'll eat candy corn. Candy corn's that thing where it's like mindless candy, where it's like, I mean, candy corn's the thing where it's just you've got the candy bowl in the house and you can just dip a hand into candy corn and eat it like popcorn because you just want to die early.
Right.
Let's see. I don't remember eating a lot of Good and Plenty, honestly. That's probably like the one of that's like the unknown for me. I can't assign that a tier because I don't remember eating it, and I still don't eat it to this day because I don't really see it a whole lot.
Right.
So Good and Plenty is like a question mark. Lemon Heads, I would say that's like B minus.
Really.
It's not terrible because because I like warheads. I like sour
Yeah.
stuff.
Absolutely.
So they're like a lesser warhead.
Yeah.
I don't mind lemon heads a lot. The problem with that is that I'm tainted because they have flavored lemon heads that are like grape.
Oh, okay.
I like grape lemon heads and like I think they have like a watermelon one too.
So you turn over your pumpkin bucket and you have the little
Mhm.
packs of black warheads. You're hyped.
Oh, warheads? Hell yeah! I'm always
But
happy.
if you have a little tiny yellow box of lemon heads, you're like, all right. I mean,
it's fine. It's not a deal breaker, but
to
it's
me,
not the most exciting thing.
right. To me, Good and Plenty's are trash can. Automatic.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm doing Michael Jordan from the 3-point line trash can. Right? Candy corn
doing the
is
alley oop for Scottie Pippen.
right. I'm vice versa.
I can't remember.
He's an alley
Not
oop
a
for me
big basketball.
because I'm Mike. Candy corn, I'm fucking Tom Brady, deflate gate to the trash can, right? But lemon heads, to me, lemon heads are a Trojan, man.
Are they?
I feel like they sneak in where I'll be sitting there, all the good candy's already gone. You know, and I'm sitting there, that
they're definitely at the bottom of the barrel can.
That inevitable, like, all you have is the trash candy left in the bucket, and you're like, everything is so bad now. And you're like, you know what? I want some sweet. I'm not gonna eat a carrot.
Yeah.
So you take a lemon head and you eat it. You're like, you know what? Why did I feel like every year I forget that they're okay.
Yeah. I would say that they're like okay. They're not terrible, but they're not fantastic.
Well, so
when you get to like the bottom of the pumpkin barrel,
they become S tier.
they become S tier by proxy.
It's a sliding scale of goodness. Where do you stand though? We talked about chocolate earlier.
Yes.
What do you feel about snack size chocolate? Because I'll tell you my opinion on it. I honestly very much do not like snack size chocolate because it is so small it doesn't taste like to me snack size candy like Snickers, snack size, well not Snickers per se, but Three Musketeer and Three Milky Way primarily.
Yeah, I think
they don't taste the same as full size Milky Ways.
I think the problem with those is not that they don't taste the same to me, but it's just that I just want more of them.
Yeah.
I want like if I have like a Three Musketeers or a Milky Way, I want the whole bar, not snack size. But I will say S tier of the snack size, which is one that I think enhances with being a snack size, is Kit Kats.
Those are good.
I think snack size Kit Kats. I think snack size for Kit Kats is like the perfect size because you still get two, and you get enough of the bar. I mean, they're the biggest of the snack size.
I'm gonna give you a counter to that. I think that I agree with that statement. To me, another perfect snack size is the Hershey bar.
Yeah, Hershey bar's not bad.
Primarily,
I think Hershey bar goes into the thing though where it's like, I don't know. I would say Hershey bar is like C tier.
Really?
candy, because it's kind of like, because you look at other chocolate candies, like you look at Kit Kats, you look at like
Mm.
Crunch Bars or Crackle, they all got like something else going on.
See,
The Hershey is kind of just like chocolate.
that's why I recommend Zach to you in this world of distractions and accessories and oh, woe is me and I gotta topple this, I gotta topple that, and we're distracted so much that we forget that sometimes it's okay to just eat milk chocolate.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I was just like you once
Okay.
until I opened a bag of mixed chocolate recently, actually. And I was like, let me eat some of this Hershey's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I ate one bar and I was like, let me eat 2 bars. Next thing you know, there was no Hershey's left because it was such a pureness to it, a wholesome Pennsylvania feel. But also the dark chocolate Hershey's is very good. But they make snack size cookies and cream now. I never knew that.
I've seen those.
I never knew that.
Cookies and cream of Hershey's is like S2.
That's amazing.
That's like amazing. S plus. Like
yeah.
Cookies and cream Hershey's is like the top of the barrel.
Can I talk to you about a problem that I have that maybe I think that the rest of America has, but I'm gonna ask you if you have this problem, okay?
Okay.
With snack bags, like Halloween bags.
Like variety bags?
Like variety bags.
Okay.
Okay. This happened to me personally 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I bought a bag, Reese's Sour Patch, which is obviously another
Sour Patch is good.
Forgotten amazing candy for Halloween.
Yes.
Sour Patch, Hershey's, something else. But the big ones for me were Sour Patch and Reese's.
Okay.
So, and Kit Kat. I think Kit Kat was in the bag as well. So it's a expensive banging bag.
Okay.
This is an epidemic that scientists have to figure out how to fix, because to me it's a problem.
Okay.
Where I eat the Sour Patch perfect, 10 out of 10. Right? It'll be fresh. You can tell it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go and I'll open up a Reese's.
Okay.
And the Reese's tastes like Sour Patch.
I don't think I've ever had that.
The bags were too close together, touching, where now I'm getting a weird fruitness, sourness flavor in my chocolate.
I don't think I've ever experienced that before.
It happens to me more than I need for it to happen.
Interesting.
To where I won't even eat the Reese's anymore because I know that they were all dangled around each other, that they're going to taste like fucking Sour Patch Light, and I cannot stand it.
Okay.
I can't stand it, and I don't know if I'm having a stroke. But it's happened. It happens all the time.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never experienced that before, where you've had like cross contamination of candy.
Yes, absolutely.
I've never experienced that.
Absolutely,
I don't think.
I don't know if Sour Patch is just nuclear, where it just like seeps through the bag or what. But like I've had
those sour crystals maybe.
And maybe it's because I put them in a bucket and they're hanging out in a bucket. I don't know what it is. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
But it happens, and it's a problem.
I'll have to let you know because I've never experienced that before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
As we wrap up the episode in our candy talk, so final assessment.
Yes.
Lastly, again, candy that is the end all be all for you for Halloween. What is it?
So I think the ones that are end all be all are cookies and cream Hershey's. Those are the top. Reese's, Kit Kats, and let's make it an even 4. Nerds. Nerds would definitely be up there.
So, and primarily probably grape nerds, right? Those are I think those are more common than strawberry, or lemon.
Probably the grape for sure.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times the strawberry and the grape are together, but I would say grape.
I prefer lemonade or lemon, but I feel like those are those are.
I don't think I've ever had lemonade nerds.
They're good. They're very good.
I know that I know the dual box where you've got the strawberry and grape together.
Yeah.
You talk about some cross contamination. You get some cross contamination with those boxes.
My number one Halloween candy is just one, and it's just sweet tarts.
Okay.
And I think the beauty of that also is that I can't tell if I just like it a lot, because I do like it a lot. I hunt for it everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
for the full size because they're so hard to find.
Yeah.
And the boxes are hard to find too at Walmart.
Yeah.
The dollar boxes. And if I find them, I end up buying like all of them because they're just so hard to find.
Yeah.
At least where I'm at. But I think I don't know what came first: my love for sweet tarts, or the realization that everyone else doesn't like them as much as other candy. So I'll never have to struggle to get candy because every bucket I'm gonna get at Halloween's gonna have like 17 billion
Yeah.
packs of sweet tarts, and I'll never go hungry for candy because I'll always have something.
True.
But also I like Dr Pepper.
Yeah.
So as I get
Okay.
older, I'm like just like liking like fucking terrible like people think tastes weird, you know. Um, so
Fair enough.
that's where I'm at with this, Zach.
Okay.
Lastly, before we wrap up the podcast, episode 100.
Yes.
What are your plans for candy this year for Halloween, man? How are you going to do it? Are you doing anything for the kids? Are you putting it out? What are you doing?
I might put something out for the kids. If I do, I got my stool. I'll probably just put a bucket outside maybe because I know there's kids in our apartment complex.
Yeah.
So I might do something for them. Because I probably won't be here. I don't know. I haven't determined when Halloween is yet. If I'll actually
Saturday,
be like working.
I believe.
Oh, so I'll definitely be working.
I
So
think
yeah,
it's a Saturday.
I'll probably just put something out for the kids. Probably just put like a bucket out. It is a Saturday. So probably just put a bucket out with some candy, whatnot. Leave it outside on a stool outside my apartment door. And then whatever's left,
Yeah.
that's all for me. So
It's going to be Milk Duds.
it's gonna be Milk Duds.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Milk Duds. It's gonna be some Mike and Ike's.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably gonna be some sweet tarts because there's always too many. But yeah, I don't mind sweet tarts. You know what? We didn't talk about. There's two that we didn't talk about because I was looking at Willy Wonka because I was trying to remember what else was there.
Mm-hmm.
What are your feelings on runts?
On which ones?
Runts, which is like the Willy Wonka like fruit.
I don't
He-
like them.
It's like the hard fruit. Yeah, I would consider those bad. And then you had sprees as well.
Spree? Okay, I like sprees.
Sprees is like the lesser brother of sweet tarts.
You know, as we wrap up the podcast, it's hard for me to forget this because it's the epidemic.
Mm.
And you mentioned Wonka. I don't know how I didn't think about this.
Mm.
I like sprees. I think runts or
Okay.
whatever. The fact that every year, since the dawn of time probably,
Mhm.
there is an epidemic of Laffy Taffies that are yellow.
I forgot about the Laffy Taffies.
And look, Laffy Taffies suck in general.
Banana Laffy Taffies.
Pink, okay, maybe. Grape, I'll deal with it. But
I
yellow,
don't mind green apple. Green apple's not bad.
that's fine. That's fine.
But,
But yellow,
But banana, dude. Ugh.
why do they still make that candy?
I don't know.
No one likes
Really
that
don't
shit.
know.
No one likes that.
I don't get it.
You couldn't point to me on a map someone who likes that. If they said yes, I'd tell you they're lying. That's not true. That's garbage candy. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see y'all back next week with more License to View.
Yes.
This has
Dylan!
been
You
episode
son of a bitch.
100. Thank you for
100.
watching. Thank you for listening. 5-6 years in the game.
Yes.
We'll be back next week with more. We're working on some stuff. We'll see. Hopefully, we can get it done. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully. Crossing the fingers.
Yeah, if not, regular episode. If we're looking for it happens, then you'll know what's happening. If not, it'll be a regular podcast. So,
All right.
guys, we'll see you back next week.